Hello, everyone. Can everybody hear me? Let me make sure I got the mute button off. I know it's really late for me, early in the morning for you guys. I almost didn't come on because I ate pretty late and I'm feeling kind of sleepy. I'm glad Sundown's here. Third Ward, Blood Moon, Cuban, Daniel. Thank you all for stopping by. Uh, the title today is Let's Talk because I just wanted to talk about some stuff that happened over the week and also about body dysmorphia too. With all this stuff I'm seeing with BBLs and women working out and looking like men, and I wanted to talk about that and how that all got started. Okay, so everybody's here. Everybody hit the like button. Maybe I should start off with something light before I go into what I'm going to my commentary. That is, let's see. Do I want to make you guys laugh or what? You know what? Maybe I'll make you guys laugh. I'm going to start off with something that me and Blood Moon was watching earlier, but I don't think Blood Moon saw this video. We're starting to see now. It's called Balloon or Date or something like that. I guess that this is what you guys are doing now. Before it was the pineapple thing, and I think this is the new thing now. So I've been watching a few videos, and I just think it's funny how people are selecting if they could actually match up, if they actually have things in common to start dating. It's just funny how they do it. And then they, if they don't like the person or they don't like what they said, they'll pop that balloon or something like that. So let me see if I can find one that I was looking at the other day that I found actually really funny. Let's see. Here we go. Hold on 1 second. I should have loaded this up first. All right, 1 second.
Morning. What's your name?
My name is Inocencio Ibarra.
What do you do, Inocencio?
I make beats, man.
How tall are you?
I'm 66 inches tall.
Right.
Yeah, well, we're all the same size laying down, right? Well, fuck, your hair is not even real.
Well, your hairline isn't even real.
Yeah, you're right. It's really expensive. I really bought it.
I found that one funny because they just popped all the balloons. None of them were interested in him. He was too short. He made beats. Nobody was freaking interested in that dude. So I found that one funny. It's called Balloons or something. You like that one, Blood Moon? They popped every single balloon. Then he says 66 inches. I'm like, dude, just say 5'4", But none of them liked him, and that was the first one I got, Blood Moon. I don't know if I should play the other dude and then start going into my other videos. I don't know if I brought him up. Yes, I did. Hold on. Let me see if I can get that other dude. But that one was so funny with the hair and the hairline. The girls are short as well. Yeah, but you don't want the guy to be short, Blood Moon. So if you're like 5'1", 5'2", that guy can't be 5'4". He has to be at least 5'10", right? 5'8", 5'10". So Ifulana, wake her up. I'm gonna send her the link in a second. Let me just bring this video up. Let me try to get the video anyway. I'm gonna send her the link in a second. Let's see. He can be a few inches taller. Really? I don't know. Let me send Fulana this the link. I'm getting the video up now. We call this guy Turtle Man. Right, Blood Moon? Let's see. I'm just waiting for it to load. Let's see. Oh man, it's taking forever. Okay, here we go.
All right, if we can have your name and age and why you popped your balloon.
Hi, my name is Karma. I'm 24.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to say the popping the balloon proper. Got you. For me, it just did not work. I didn't feel like I had chemistry or I wasn't fully attracted to you, and I feel like that counts if we are going to be going through a dating show, you know?
Yes, the feeling is definitely mutual. So that's okay. Thank you. You did me a favor.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Glad you have a great day.
Thank you, Queen. You too.
Okay, well, let's go ahead. All right, we got to pop over here. If we can have your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
Hi, my name is Jara. I'm 22.
Okay, and why did we end up popping our balloon?
The comment you made, didn't really, I like a more humble person. That's the one that responds so defensive-ish. Yeah, that's really it. I didn't really necessarily like
That's
how you
fine.
responded.
Hey, I could just,
Yeah.
all I can do is be honest,
I mean,
you know?
yeah, be honest,
I
be your
came
authentic
over
self.
here to,
That's okay.
to find a match
Sure.
that wasn't matching. That's
Sure, I
all,
mean,
Queen.
I 100% understand.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Sure.
And I was, she someone that's your type?
She all right. You know, you're not really my type. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
No,
You know,
disrespecting.
but if I seen you in public, I wouldn't reach out to.
Totally fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. And we did get a pop balloon over here. Your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
I'm Lex, and I'm 23, and I popped my balloon because I feel like you could be a tad bit disrespectful, like how you, like, I don't know, arrogant, a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, just that.
Well, voicing my opinion is not arrogant. You know, she asked me if she would be a good fit for me. If I like what I see, you know, it's contrary to the truth. So
Of course.
that's all I can do is just state what I see. That's not a good look for me. That's all, Queen. But thank you. You did me a favor as well.
Yeah. Also, what I have to say is, it's not what you say. This is what I mean by what I said. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes.
You could have rephrased a lot of the things that you have been saying to me as well as the other girls differently. But that's all I have to say.
But one thing about me is I'm not going to change who I am
Of course.
to fit somebody else's liking. You know, I'm just going to tell it how it is. If you're not it, that's not it. You know, the
Cool.
one that is it, I'm going to let it be known.
Okay.
You know, for surely, yes.
Respectful.
All right.
He was an ass. He was an ass. And every time he said queen, I was cringing like, oh, he might as well just pushed him and said, yeah, queen. Like, you know, queen, I'm not interested in you, queen. You know, very condescending, very passive aggressive. He wasn't a nice guy. But yeah, I guess that's the new thing that's going out now, that that's how they're going to start selecting their dates or seeing if they are a match or whatever. I think it's called Balloons or Date or something like that. I don't know. But I just saw a couple of videos and stuff, and I thought the first one was really funny, and this one was, the guy was just arrogant and he was just rude. I don't know. I think like social media is making people what's that word, like numb to stuff. Like, you know, you could be humiliated in there and people be like, oh, okay. You can be shitty, and you know, people will just let it slide. Like, you know, it's not cool anymore. Like, you know, there's no sensitivity in certain things, or there's no tact in how they say or go about stuff. I don't know. Guys don't talk to women, I guess, like they used to. Now, since everything is online, it's just, yeah, we're just gonna line up the guys, I'm gonna line up the girls, and then, you know, you just pick and see what you like, and either you say pineapple or you pop a balloon, and you know, then you keep it moving. You go on to the next thing. Hola, Alim, how are you? Morena, you take things too seriously. No, I'm not taking it seriously. I know it's fun, like how they're doing it, but it's like, I don't know. You watch reality TV, you know, some of it seems fake, and then you see that they get married, have babies, and then they just start doing shitty shit on TV, and you're like, what? Hey, old head, how are you? Tito Tank won. I heard there was a fight, but I don't know who that is. So Tito Tank is what? He's Puerto Rican or Mexican? I don't like men being fake. It's better to be honest, even if it's brutal. Yeah, but see, the girl was saying, Blood Moon, that you could be honest without being malicious. You can be honest without being malicious. Hey, Shakur, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Everybody hit that like button, please. I was just watching the fight. Okay, so why you laughing, Cuban? It's true, man. You ain't got to be nasty. Oh, so I guess I started off at a good time then, right? So because everybody was watching the fight. So what was it? I don't know. Oh, Geronte Tank Davis. Oh, okay. I thought you said Tito. Why did I thought I saw Tito? It looked like you put Tito on there, whole head. Hey, Roy Tess, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. He's the black. Yeah. I know who Geronte Davis is. I thought he said Tito. That's why I was like, is he Puerto Rican or Mexican? Because Tito is not an American name. Okay, he said Titi Tank One. I think that's what you're trying to say, right? Old head, you put Tito, Tito. The balloon pop video. Yes, did you see it, old head, or did you miss it? There was one with a Latino dude. I thought that was funny. If you guys want to see it again, because that was funny. Yes, okay. But okay. So what was the score, old head? Since he won, that means that was what, lightweight, welterweight, because he's not heavy at all. What was the score? Did he win by unanimous decision or? By the way, he won, but the whole thing was too aggressive. Really? He was fighting angry. It was an angry fight. You know, kind of like how Tyson bit what's his face ear off. No, I'm talking about the balloon pop. Oh, he won, but the whole thing was too aggressive. Yeah, I mean, Blood Moon likes it like that, I guess. You know, that'd be her kind of thing. I guess she would have popped mad balloons. TK on the third round. Oh, okay, not bad. So it was a short fight. Did you guys have to pay for it? Was it one of those fights where you had to pay for it? You loved it. Nah, man, maybe I'm just a little bit old-fashioned. I mean, I know it's on TV and stuff. It's just like, you know, everything is. There's nothing like, you know. It's just so. It's like going to McDonald's. You know, you're on there picking out certain, you know. It's the McDonald's of dating. Let's put it like that. Maybe it's just like that. It's kind of cheap. They cheapened it. I'm not paying for boxing anymore. You know what, Ohead? When Tyson started fighting, I was like, I don't know why people pay for it, because Tyson's fights never used to go past the third round until he was close to retiring. It never used to go past the third round, so it was like a waste. You saw two fights of people that are the unknowns, and then you got to Tyson, and it only lasted like 3 minutes. So, guys, I put Let's Talk on there. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. I wanted to talk about like body dysmorphia and muscle dysmorphia. I didn't know that was a thing with women. I'm going to focus on women this time with regards to how they're killing their bodies by doing these surgeries or overworking out and then taking drugs to get bigger. I can't still remember the night Tyson lost. I don't think I don't know. I don't think I watched that. Men and women don't like rejection and worse in front of the camera. Yeah, that would be me. That's why I'm like, damn. I walk up and they be like, pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, what happened? You know? The girl that said that he said, what do you rate yourself? She said an 8, and you heard 3 balloons pop, 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 pop. You know? It was like kind of rude. They were being rude. But you know, that's how it is. So Sundown, if you're still here, we could start with the bodybuilding portion. If you're not, I'll start with the other thing, because I would rather you have your take on that and have you on the panel if you don't mind. But if not, I could start on my other topic that I think will get everybody going, and I'll be interested, since we have a range of ages in the chat, what you guys think about how this should have been handled. Let me play the video first, and then maybe I should give you some background first. No, I'll play the video first. Un momento. I blocked out the children because I don't know if I can get in trouble for that. So it looks, what you need to see, you're going to actually see.
Has worked a job, has more than $1 million. Y'all never worked, y'all never did nothing. Y'all literally have 5 minutes of max in here. Then y'all gotta get out, okay?
5 minutes? You know how much 5 minutes is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me know if you need to see it again. But you saw Michael Rainey and you saw the girl, you know, how she grabbed him and all that. Hey, Swells, how are you? Morena. How you doing, Swells? Bring JM with you, okay? Bring him or her into this chat. Do you need to see the video again, guys? I don't know if V-Swell's got to see it since he just jumped right in. I'm going to play it one more time so you guys can see how it all went down. I just edited out or tried to block out the children that were there. I didn't want to show the children because they're under 18.
Has worked a job, has more than $1 million. Y'all never worked, y'all never did nothing. Y'all literally have 5 minutes of max in here. Then y'all gotta get out, okay?
5 minutes? You know how much 5 minutes is?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you see, okay, Sundown, cool, you're here. Now you see how she grabbed homeboy's junk, and then she's looking at him like, do you see me doing it? I'm, like I don't know what she was, what reaction she was trying to get out of him as she did it, but it just seems weird. So Cuban said he's wrong. Oh man, we saw salute. What do you guys think? It was wrong. Okay, you think that she was wrong in what she did. I remember what Blood Moon told me. What do you guys think is do you think he was embarrassed? Because the argument I was having even with my son was that he just looked embarrassed. He didn't seem like he felt assaulted. It didn't look like he felt like somebody was taking advantage of him or anything like that. To me, he looked embarrassed because there was children there. 1, 2, he was on camera, and 3, he didn't know how much anybody actually saw. That's how I took it. But a lot of people were saying, no, she assaulted him. Look at his face. He looked like he was upset. I didn't see all that. Was it for attention since it was live? Well, who do you think was trying to get the attention? I think his name is Ty Lil's sister or Michael Rainey, because clickbait maybe. So you think it was clickbait? Yes, he did. He looked very uncomfortable. I don't know. To me, he looked embarrassed. Like, he was looking like, okay, she grabbed me. Poop, that caught him off guard. Then he looked around to see who caught it, like who saw it, but he didn't look like, I don't know. She was starstruck and it was innocent. He can't cry about fame once famous gets it. I said, well, I'm gonna read a statement that he made after that, but I mean, okay, so it's a double standard for men, right? Maybe initiation stuff. You think so? You think so? And the little girl was up because I don't know. Was she over 18? I don't think she's over 18. I think she's really young, and the way she was just so bold, she didn't just grab it. Like, if you're standing next to dude and you want to grab it, you're gonna play it off, right? Y'all gonna keep doing what you're doing, and your hand's just gonna do whatever it's doing. And maybe he would have jumped too, but she bent over and looked in his face, like she did it 3 times, I think it was, and she kept looking at him, and I'm like, what did she want him to do? Kiss her? Like, what was she waiting for? Well, clickbait, but accident. He did not know it was gonna occur. Yeah, Roy Chess. I don't know. He didn't know it was gonna happen. So to me, he looked like startled, but I don't think he looked like, like if it was Trump talking about grab her by the crotch. I don't think if it was a woman that would have been grabbed by the crotch, would the look or the reaction would have been the same to me. I don't know. I'm thinking that he was just more embarrassed. Blood Moon says it was wrong. He didn't look embarrassed. He looked, I guess, I don't know, like he was in shock, I guess. I didn't see all that. And I think the statement that he made kind of alluded to that as well. Like, it wasn't as bad as we thought. He was more embarrassed, I think, but I'm going to read it to you guys just so you can see what he said. So Michael Rainey, the Power Book 2 ghost actor, says he was grabbed inappropriately by Ty's James' little sister while appearing on a guest in his Twitch series. So he spoke out on Monday. This was after this happened, after being groped during an appearance on the Twitch live stream. The 23-year-old released a statement through his rep about the incident. So he didn't even really do it. It was his rep that responded. Rainey is deeply saddened and shocked by the events that occurred during the live stream and over the weekend. His rep said in a statement that he's still processing what happened and he doesn't entirely know how to feel about it. This situation is not being taken lightly, the statement continued, and the sexual harassment and assault are serious and unacceptable. Taking advantage of someone's celebrity in this manner devalues entertainers and underscores the need to respect their humanity. Those who entertain us are human beings just like us. So in the video, Rainey is shown talking to several others in the group when James's sister approaches and begins touching the actor without his consent. Rainey looks visibly uncomfortable and attempts to block her. The power star reportedly left the live stream shortly after the incident. He later addressed the assault on his Instagram, on a post on his Instagram, and he shared that he's still in shock. He said he can't take it lightly because he knew that he would be in serious trouble had the roles been reversed. So, you know, this is an unfortunate situation, and he said he can't condone it in any way. And the fact is, sexual assault is never okay, regardless of the gender or status. We're all human, and we should respect each other. Most importantly, we should respect ourselves. So based on what he said, he's not pressing charges. It seems like he's not pressing charges. And he's not trying to take it too seriously. She was starstruck. It was in snooker. That's what Vswell said. Roy Test. If it was the other way around, yeah. If it was the other way around, the woman did it to embarrass him and would know. Okay, she knew she was going to get away with it. That's the whole thing, right? That's my whole point. It's a double standard society. So her grab, you know, if a dude gets grabbed up like that, it's like he can't feel assaulted. Like, what would it take for a situation like that to make a man feel like he's being assaulted? Because she just grabbed him. You know, he's 23. She was a little younger. She just grabbed his junk, and I think he was just shocked. I'm telling you, there was kids there and all that. Like, who could have seen all of that? Like, did even her brother see that? Like, how? Like, if that was my brother and he brought a celebrity to the house, I would never go on his live stream and do something so ridiculous like that and embarrass. Because I'm not even embarrassing the person that did it to him. I'm embarrassing myself, and I'm embarrassing my brother. She just went ahead and did it. I don't know what the thought process was when she was doing that. I don't know why she did it, and I don't know what the thought process was. That just wasn't cool to me. And I don't think that they're going to do anything to her. I think that it's just going to stay like that unless, and that's what me and my son was arguing back and forth about, unless the parents actually want to press charges, because even if Rainey feels like, you know, he was embarrassed or whatever and he doesn't want to do anything about it, you know, she did stuff like that in front of minors. I don't know what kind of charge they could bring up on her, but she did it in front of minors. And I don't know if she's a minor herself. I was looking to see what her age is, but I couldn't find that anywhere. So I don't know if she was under 18 or what. So most men will not take it serious for that. I guess men can't prevent sexual advancement from a woman way easy. Right, because they're the stronger sex. Is that what you're saying? Roy Chess? Because I don't know. Let me see if I can find another response here that made it seem like he shouldn't have taken it so seriously. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look at it. I think I got it on my phone. I don't know. Would you, if it happened to any one of you guys, would you guys had would you guys had gone off and pressed charges? I don't think anybody in the chat would have done it. Hold on a second. Okay, so 50 Cent was like, they say he makes light of the aggressive advance on Michael Rainey getting groped in the incident. He said, wait, sexual assault? From a male perspective, this was an aggressive advance. LOL. He's fine. No charges are being pressed. 50 wrote in an Instagram post. So he was basically laughing it off. Like, how could you even consider that sexual assault? She was just being aggressive. So you would just see that as her just being an aggressive move. It depends. They used to rip Elvis' clothes off. Yeah. And Cuban said it depends. But, I mean, she was being aggressive, so he should brush it off as her just being a fan who is being aggressive and not actually consider it assault, because he's right. Had the roles been reversed, had that been Doja Cat or Nicki Minaj and some random dude just grabbed her crotch, we would have been talking about something different. Hey, Denise, how are you? Good evening. It's still evening for me and you. It's not the next day yet. What do you think, Denise? Was she being aggressive, or was she being a sexual predator? Because clearly, had that been a man doing it, it would have been looked that way. It would have been sexual assault. It would have been a sexual assault. He probably knows her since it was at his friend's house. But that guy, Tay Lil, I think he interviews people. Blood Moon. I don't know if they're friends, but I know he does interview people, and I have his response as well too from that. What are we talking about? We're talking about Tay Lil. He's on, oh my God, what's that other platform? On Twitch. He's a gamer, I believe, and he was interviewing this actor named Michael Rainey Jr. He's from the Ghost series, the Power Book 2 Ghost series on Starz. So he went to I guess they were interviewing him, or Tay Lil was interviewing. He was interviewing Michael Rainey, but I think he was getting questions from the children. And while he's talking to the children, Lil Tay, the Twitch guy's sister, was standing next to the actor and went and grabbed his crotch. I mean, like, grabbed it. I'm gonna show the video again, Denise, so you can see it. I blocked out the kids, the little kids' faces because they're under 18, and I don't know if I can get in trouble for that. But you can see where you can't see her hand going there, but you can tell that's what she did, and you can see his reaction to it. Oh, you saw it? Okay. So if you saw it, yes, it seems like he knew her. Okay. Yeah, I saw it. So what do you think, Denise? Do you think she was just being aggressive, or do you think she's like, a sexual predator? Because that's how they would look at a man doing it. She's a predator, and he should have pressed charges and not back down. What I said, because me and my son was going back and forth with this, and I said if they want to hold women by those standards, then they're gonna have to set something in play for that, right, Denise? Like pressing charges on her would probably start that off, and they would have to write something. They would have to enact something into law so that it'll go the same for men and women, because it seems like men won't come forward and call it or consider it sexual assault. We have a lot of men being essayed, and they tend to back down from pressing charges, and that's why they aren't taken seriously. But why do you think that they're backing down, Denise? They're backing down out of fear. They're backing down out of ego. They're backing down to not look weak. Because it's like, a woman comes on to you, it's like, come on, dude, she came on to you. You don't know how to turn away a woman's advances, or you don't know how to handle a situation like that. You have to go to the cops, and press charges. That's usually something that they would see women do, This is not a stunt. I doubt she really wants to be with that dude. I don't think she wanted to. I think she just, I don't know. I think she just wanted to grab it and see his reaction. Because she kept looking at him, like she grabbed it three times. She grabbed it and she just kept looking at him. I had an incident back when I was penniless in California and worked at a gas station, and the lady was blatantly hitting her boyfriend, even with the gas nozzle. Wow. I called 911 and he denied it to the cops. Wow. So it's like you wasted your time. Cops were making the most disgusting comments, to be honest. They were making comments about the woman hitting the guy and the guy saying that she did nothing, or like, dude, why didn't you handle it? Like, why would we have to come out here? Because I think that's what it is when it comes to men. They're looking at it like, why can't you handle the situation? This doesn't seem like something that should go beyond you and that person, you and that woman. So I don't know. I'm gonna tell you what Tay Lil said about the situation. Let me read to you what his response was to everything that happened. He said, after the actions that occurred during my stream last night, I would like to sincerely apologize to Michael and his family for what took place. My little sister, I don't know how little she is, was completely wrong and out of line. What she did was very inappropriate and unacceptable. I am truly embarrassed and disgusted by her actions. I completely respect whatever direction Michael wants to go in this situation. And after watching the clip, I was completely taken aback by what she had done. I will take extreme precautions with future streams to avoid similar issues and have her banned from participating in future streams. I don't condone any type of assault. So he called it an assault, but he just made it seem like he was more embarrassed than anything. The problem with men stems from two things: males assuming an abused male is being weak or it's sexual, like he liked it. And the second is that law enforcement, just like with the guy mentioned above, make fun about it so they don't support other men coming forward. Blood Moon said there's a whole video showing how uncomfortable he was. He can press charges. I think they were. I don't know. I don't think he was uncomfortable. Well, we can't relate. We're not stars. Imagine. Well, Ohead. So a woman is standing next to you. You're, ordering food at a fast food place, and she just goes and she just grabs your package. What are you gonna do? That's basically the scenario. Somebody you don't know and they just caught you off guard and they just grab it. What you gonna do? You're gonna smack her, push her, call the cops, or you're gonna say, yo, what you doing? And tell her to back up off you and keep it moving. Like, how would you guys? That's what I want to know. The men, at least in the chat, like, how would you handle that situation if it was you? Oh, I'm sorry, Sundown. Hey, Sundown. I don't even know how long you was there. Wow. Oh, that's what's his name? What's the actor's name from Rocky? Rest in peace. You hear me, Sundown?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's the actor's name? Yeah, I hear you.
That's Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers. Yeah, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Okay, so you hear what I've been saying, right? Sundown.
Yeah.
What do you think about the situation?
I think. Hold on. Let me cut my water off.
Okay.
Nah, about that whole situation with the kid, it goes both ways, and unfortunately, in society, they only look at it as one way. You know what I mean? SA is SA.
Right.
Whether it's me going up to a girl and grabbing on her junk,
right,
and then a girl coming up and grabbing me on my junk, it's the same thing. But I think that society, they like to downplay it when it happens to men. They'll tell you to man up, or, oh man, you should feel good. That's a girl coming up to you doing that, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's like, SA is SA, no matter how you look at it.
Because I think, let's say, had it been a man that grabbed his junk, I think that would have went totally different. Had the roles been reversed, or had it been a man that grabbed him like that, then he would have considered it assault.
Yeah.
Right?
So there was this video. So I follow this guy. His name is Joey Swole, right? So he's this bodybuilder. And, he likes people sending videos of like toxic gym culture, people recording themselves in the gym and stuff like that. But there's a video of a guy that's working out, and it's a group of girls behind him. And he's like bent over and he's doing something, and one of the girls grabs his butt, and then he stops. He turns around and he throws his hands up like, what is this? What's going on? And all the dudes are laughing, but you can see that he's visibly upset.
Right.
And it's like, you can't have it one way and then overlook what happens to the opposite sex. It happens to men just like it happens to women.
But okay, so how many men actually see it as assault? Or is it that you guys are already pre-programmed not to see it that way because it was a woman doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think in a way you're programmed to not see it as that because it's coming from women.
Right.
So like, okay, if let's say if a girl is walking down the street and she's getting catcalled by a bunch of guys, people would be like, oh man, I feel so bad for her.
Mm-hmm.
But then let's say if a good looking guy is walking down the road and all the women are, making gestures and all that stuff, people will laugh it off and be like, oh man, you see, you should be happy that you look good. You got all these girls looking at you. But if you were to turn around and tell that girl, you should be, you should be happy that you look good because now these guys are talking to you. They're gonna be like, oh man, how could you say such a thing?
Well, the catcalling, like in New York, used to be really bad. I think they banned it it used to be really bad. Like if you went past a construction site or where they were working on the subways or something like that, they would say everything to you under the sun. And sometimes if you didn't say nothing or you looked angry, they would curse you out. I like getting catcalled. Some women did it, Blood Moon, because sometimes they would get nasty, and if you didn't say nothing, they'd be like, "Well, bitch, f you, this, and that." You was going anyway. Yeah, they used to get downright nasty. Sweet.
I like no, it's funny because like I've seen movies like that. They used to make jokes on that. So like the girl would be walking down the road, and the guys would be like, "Hey, how you doing? Fuck you."
You see, Blood Boo says she liked it. They used to get really sometimes, men will just, throw a whistle at you or throw a kiss at you or say, hey, baby, hey, mommy, whatever, and keep it at that level. Then there's sometimes, guys used to get really like nasty, or maybe they'll walk up to you and then they're talking to you and they're walking with you and they won't leave you alone. Like, and then it gets like borderline too aggressive, like how they said she was being aggressive without them touching you. Sometimes they get too aggressive, and if you don't return their advances with a smile or something like that, it can turn ugly. It can be.
Yeah, I saw a video. Of this chick. She was recording, and this guy was following her. Like she had the, how like you have it in selfie mode.
Yeah.
So she's walking. And the guy was across the street. He came, behind her, and he was talking to her. And she was like, "No, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested." He followed her for like a block before she turned around and was like, "If you keep following me, I'm gonna call the cops."
Yeah. It happens. It's like, I never got cursed out. I always smiled at them. So you liked it, Blood Moon. Blood Moon says she liked it. Come on, Blood Moon. Sometimes there'd be a guy that's trying to talk to you that you like, oh, I don't know. Like, and you're trying to get away from him. And sometimes your face will give it away. So you smiled at everybody that said something to you, Blood Moon? I find that hard to believe. Especially considering how Blood Moon is. So, okay. So men are trained not to take that seriously. So Sundown, if that was you, how would you have handled it? Just some random woman. Let's say you're at the store, you're anywhere, somewhere where other people can actually see, but she thought she was doing it discreetly, but she just went ahead and grabbed your junk. Like, how would you have?
I would have grabbed her hand and was like, "Hey, don't touch me. I'm not touching you. Respect my little area of, my little bubble. Like, don't be putting your hands on me because I'm not putting my hands on you. Just like you wouldn't want me walking up behind you." Like, okay, so how like when you used to go out to clubs, I don't know if you still do.
No.
Like one of the no-nos for like women was when a guy would walk up behind them and start dancing.
Yeah.
A lot of women didn't like that.
Yep.
So that would be like,
it depends on who it is. See, women be saying that, and it depends on who it is, and that's what I'm trying to say. So you can't give mixed signals like that, right?
Yeah. So just like a lot of women wouldn't want a guy to walk up behind them and just wrap their arms around him and start dancing while they're in the nightclub in the dark, I wouldn't want a girl to walk up to me and just start grabbing on my junk either.
So you in the nightclub, you feeling buzzed. The music is right, you dancing and stuff, and a cute girl comes up from behind you and grabs your junk, and you turn around and you see she look good. You're gonna be offended?
No, I'm still telling her, no. Hey, don't put your hands on me. not in a disrespectful way, but it's like, hey, listen, I kind of got some issues, and I don't like it when people grab me. And the same way that I respect you enough not to walk up to you and start grabbing on you and groping on you, I would ask that you show me that same respect and not grab on me and grope on me.
Okay, because when I approached my son about this, and my son's a little bit younger than Michael Rainey, and he was like, "Yeah, she was wrong." I mean, he was like, really gun ho with it. So I said, "So, if it was Nicki Minaj standing next to you and she grabbed your package, you're gonna get offended?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "Well, what's the difference? What's the difference?"
Yeah, there really is no difference, man. That's like, you know who else doesn't play that though? Have you ever seen Busta Rhymes?
Well, you know the rumor about Busta Rhymes, right? Have you
Yeah,
heard?
I heard. Yeah, I heard that. I heard that he the top and his boy Spliff Star is the bottom or something like that.
He like big booty boys, right? He's a big booty bandit, right? Men need to learn that resting in face, right? So, so I say, the same way he said. That's what I'm trying to say. It depends. I think for men and women, it depends, depending on the environment, depending on. Yeah, the environment. It depends. Like if you're in a club, like I just described the club. I remember being in a club, but no, men will grab your hand or whatever, and they'll come up behind you, but they're not really touching you in a way that you would consider it offensive, right? So that they're not assaulting you, in other words. But don't put your hands on me. But what's your number? I'm telling you. Says she was trans and pepper sprayed him. I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. I'm trying to think. Damn. I had something and then I forgot. Give me a second. It'll come back.
What did you say?
No, I said I was going to mention something, but then I forgot. But it'll come back. It'll come back. It'll come back to me. I'm getting old.
Me too.
Yes. Okay, I got it. Okay. So, do you remember what happened to Katy Perry?
No.
Do you remember on, I think it was American Idol, where she had that one guy was he was singing and he had never been kissed. And Katy Perry was like, "Oh, have you never been kissed?" And he was like, "No, I haven't been kissed yet, blah blah blah." And she's like, teasing him, and then she goes and she kisses him. And he was like visibly upset by that.
Who are you talking about?
It was on American Idol. Katy Perry kissed one of the contestants. And
and that means Katy Perry has a habit of doing that, because I got a video showing her doing that to somebody as well.
Yeah. But she ended up getting removed from American Idol for that, because there was a huge outrage for that. Yeah, because he didn't want to be kissed. And she kept teasing him, and then she went in and she kissed him. And when she kissed him, he was kind of taken back. Like, he wasn't gay or anything like that, but he was just, like a socially awkward person.
Yeah.
And she went in and she kissed him anyway. And like when she kissed him, it changed his whole mood. And everybody was like, you see, if the roles were reversed and it was a girl that didn't want to be kissed, and then a guy judge, Simon or whatever his name was, went in there and he kissed her, it'll be national outcry for that. But y'all need to hold her accountable, and they ended up removing her for that.
Right. And then I said, like with a Michael Rainey situation, let's say it was Nicki Minaj and a regular schmegular dude, right? If it was Nicki Minaj and she just grabbed a regular dude's junk, he probably would act offended because he knows she got money. And he could sue her for that in light of this Me Too movement and stuff like that, how everything, this PC culture, how it is nowadays. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's why
what it was,
validity and all that, because I think that some people, like men, aren't really offended, but if they see an opportunity, if he's an opportunist, then he'll do something. Yeah. But
Denise that's what it was. He was saving his first kiss for like, his love or whatnot when he found love, and then she ruined that by kissing him. But yeah, you can look that up. She got removed for that.
Well, this has to do with somebody else, but Katy Perry, I believe, happens to be in the video. So it's funny that maybe she's like a predator per se. Hold on, let me see.
Madonna was like that too. She was kissing people on stage and everything like that. She was always wild though.
Let's see. Hold on a second. Imagine saving your first kiss and getting it crushed by Katy Perry. She should have asked him first. No, they assume that, just because they're celebrities, that's why I'm saying it goes both ways. Michael Rainey was saying he's a celebrity, so he's human too, and people shouldn't take advantage of that. And then some celebrities, because they are celebrities, take advantage of that. I mean, look what's going on with Puffy right now. I mean, I recall Paula Abdul slept with one of the contestants back. Oh gosh, I believe that. She thinks because she is famous that people would be happy to be exactly. And we don't know what she got because with Busta Rhymes, right? You talking about that lady that grabbed him and he pushed her, threw a drink on her or something?
Yeah.
That was crazy. And he did it. He
grabbed his butt or something like that. He turned around and threw some water on her.
Yes, grabbed his butt. Like, you know, and you would think that, I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe Busta Rhymes was standing in the back of his head, man. No.
I don't know. Let me throw my little fair use thing here. Then I'm gonna show you that video. So fair use. Let me just put this video on so you can see. Katy Perry is one of the people who did this, and then tell me what you think.
Wow! I feel violated right now. Wow.
Get that off of there. Hey. You have to be naked on stage during one full song. Answer Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, imagine there was no laws.
Look at this. Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Wow, look at your eyes. And what? So look at him. Look at what a beautiful face. All right.
It was Katy Perry who apparently wanted to know what a Bieber butt felt like.
Squeeze your face. No. I will. No. Squeeze your face.
Canadian high school. This with me. Come on, let's do it together.
That makes me feel uncomfortable.
I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Now, how many instances of SA you saw in that video alone? And he was a minor.
Nah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
And he was a minor.
That's like, do you remember when they made a big deal out of what they said it was, you know, visual like sexual assault when I think it was Ariana Grande she was singing. And it was a bunch of like, I think it was some pastors or something. She was singing at an event.
Wasn't it an award show?
Something. She was singing at an event and they were all sitting down behind her and everybody was like looking her up and down and she felt uncomfortable. You could tell that she felt uncomfortable. I think it was she was singing at an event. Yeah, she was singing at an event and I know that TD Jakes was one of them. And some other people were sitting behind her, and everybody was just like, you could tell that they were looking at her like, yo, this chick is bad, yo, she's sexy, da 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 da. And then she was turning around and she was singing it, and you could tell, like, visibly.
It was the way he was grabbing her, because I think he was grabbing either her breasts or her butt. I don't know. It's the way he had his arm around her, and he was touching her in a way inappropriately. Now, she's tiny, but still, like, you didn't give her human space, right? Like, personal space. Like,
yeah.
You know, there's a professional way of at Aretha Franklin's funeral. Wow, okay. TD Jakes is part of the whole controversy. Yeah, he is. I think he doesn't like girls.
It was Aretha Franklin's funeral. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy. So you see with Justin Bieber, everybody, and they were all adults, and he was a kid. Every last one. Violated. You have to get naked. Let me kiss you. Katy Perry grabbed his butt, like, you know.
Yeah, and then they were asking him the questions like performing naked. Like, yo, you asking a 16-year-old about performing naked?
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, where do you draw the line? What kind of laws do we have to set out there? Because not only that, he's a minor, so for kid, if it was a girl, right? Exactly, the double standard thing. If it was a girl, it would have been totally different, right? Yeah. Hey, IBM, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Would you say, Sundown?
No, that's true. That's true. All right,
so we live in a double standard society. We live in a double standard society.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing, right? So there's this show. It's a cartoon, and it's called Invincible.
Mhm.
and it's about these like superheroes and all this stuff, right? So they have this scene where the main hero, you know, so he's from another planet, right? And they have I guess their people are like short and they need to reproduce to have more kids. So they go to other planets and then they reproduce and then they have kids like that. Well, the girl from, you know, his home planet comes up to him and she's like, look, I'm not procreating with anybody except for my own. So she's like, I want you to have I want you to get me pregnant. So he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So she actually forces herself on him. And, you know, she gets done and he's crying and all this other stuff. And she looks at him and she's like, man up. And then she tells him, it's probably going to take more than one time for me to get pregnant. So I'll be back at a later day. So the main character, who's a boy, is dealing with this like sexual trauma because, you know, he got SA'd by a woman. And the people in the comments, like, cause you know how like people comment and all this stuff, they leave little comments and they were like, man, I would have been happy. Oh, he should be happy. Look at her. She was, you know, she looked good. I would be happy if I was him. You know what I mean? And it's like, but if it was a dude that went to this girl and was like, hey, we need children, so I'm gonna force myself on you, it would have been in a different light.
All right. I don't know. I don't. I mean, okay. So, like the way I'm putting out the video with Michael Rainey, like Blood Moon says he was embarrassed. I mean, not embarrassed. He was offended. You know, she should be pressed charges. I think he was embarrassed. So, but then I'm looking at Justin Bieber and I'm like, oh my God, like he's being abused. Like, what's the difference? Why do I feel one is like nothing and then the other one is like, oh my God, like, you know?
Well, Justin Bieber's was worse because he was a minor and he had multiple celebrities that were coming, like, you know, being suggestive with him. But this was just like a one-off event where it's you know, he's technically an adult, but, you know, it's a girl that just grabbed his junk. That's different than having multiple celebrities talk about how you would perform if you were naked on stage and all this other stuff. Like that's crazy.
Right. And why did they think it was okay? That's the part that I don't understand. Why did they think it was okay?
They think it's okay because nobody has been held accountable for that. You know what I mean? Like, there's no consequence for that. So they can get more vulgar, more suggestive because who's going to do something to them?
That's true. Well, now that was before the Me Too movement and stuff. So I think now it was all women, right? Except for the one guy, they were all women. So again, it is the double standard. And look what Roy Chess said, and I can't believe I actually agree with Roy Chess this time. Women are not sexual creatures as men. He said that before, but in a different type of environment. There is no double standard because the sexes are not equal to begin with. So that's what I'm trying to say. I guess thank you, Roy Chess. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Since it's not equal, not physically, not sexually, then maybe that's why society would not deem it the same as if it was the other way around. Does that make sense? Sundown? Hello?
Yeah, sorry about that. It doesn't, like, to me, I'm looking at Roy Chess's comment. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Like, that doesn't make a difference. Men are sexual creatures. Just because I have a little boy, that don't mean that I'm gonna look somewhere or I'm gonna look at it different if he go to school and then I find out that one of his female teachers is doing something to him. I'm gonna be pissed off just like if it was my daughter. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because we're sexual creatures, that doesn't mean that it's okay for that to happen.
But he's saying that the reason since men are sexual creatures, that it's not equal. So therefore, that's why the impact is different. That's how I understood it. Yeah. What
would you do? What would you do if you found out that one of your son's female teachers was flirting with him and trying to follow him on social media?
Sundown. My son, No, I've had this conversation with not so much teachers, but just older women in general. So because just older women in general. No, I wouldn't agree with it. And I've had to talk to him, and I've told him why I wouldn't agree with it, because him being a young man, or even when he was younger, and boys going through puberty, and I think maybe some of them, the case was that they felt offended and insulted, and I think others, they just felt like, wow, this older woman likes me, and I'm having sex, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and they didn't take it as assault, even if they were minors. And when I say minors, I mean like 16, 17, like they're in high school. It's a double standard. That's my whole point. It's a double standard. And when do we stop it from being a double standard? When do we say this is not right, this is not cool, or do we just make a blanket statement and everybody's going to fall into that because it's just not right?
It's going to take some reprogramming. It's going to take a lot of reprogramming to get that into effect, because boys don't cry. You know that, right? Like there's that saying, like, men don't cry, men don't show emotion. If something happens to you, you man up.
Yeah, you got to bear it. You got to go through it. See, look, Blood Moon said that is not true. Female teachers do it to kids in high school all the time. They are predators and disgusting. Now, Blood Moon, I think, is because teachers are younger now.
Yeah, and teachers, like, their morals are different. Yeah. Their morals are different now. Like, you're seeing teachers out there with BBLs now.
Right. Like, when I was in school, they were old. I mean, I went to Catholic school and they were old nuns, but then by the time I was in high school, they didn't look, they looked like teachers. They didn't look like my peers, because that's what they look like now. They look like somebody's peers.
Yeah. Like, my teachers were old and decrepit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because, like, when I first saw, like, the one case, the one big case where the teacher was sleeping with the boy, and then they ended up having a kid together. I don't know if you remember that. He was like 13, 14.
Paterno, whatever. I can't think of Paterno. No, I'm thinking about somebody else. Yes, and she died, right? Or she died. She died of cancer or something. Yes.
Yeah, but they had a kid together. He was 13.
They had several.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I remember as a kid, I was like, oh, he got lucky. But as a grown up, it's like, nah, man, that's just as bad as if it was the opposite sex doing that. But I think it would take a lot of reprogramming to get that to be just as serious when it happens to boys as it would if it happens to girls.
But you see, like that incident that you just made, that you just said right now about that boy in school. Now, when they talked to him when he was younger, I'm in love, blah, blah, blah. He was good with that, right? But now him as an adult, he realizes that he was taken advantage of. I don't know if you saw that documentary when they talked to him about it. He didn't put her down really bad, but he did kind of admit that, yeah, like she did kind of take advantage of him. And in actuality, she did. She made him grow up. He had kids. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really have a childhood. She took his innocence. That's what I try to tell my son when I said don't deal with older women, because they've lived part of their life, and I don't want them to take your youth away from you. Now, if you're 40 and she's 50, that's different. But if you're 19 and she's almost 30, I don't think so.
Yeah, because you got to think of it too, because women can be just as sexually like sexual predators like men, because you got to think about it. Women, okay, a man can be 50 and he can still get around. He might be able to pull a younger girl and, have fun still, especially if he has money, right? All he needs to do is get Viagra and stuff like that. He could still have some kind of sexual, sex life.
Right.
Women, as they get older, it becomes more difficult. Right. So when they start to get older, men don't really tend to go towards them because they're too old. They hit the wall. So you have a lot of women that are older that are sexual predators that'll go prey on younger kids because they know that their chances of getting, guys their age or guys maybe a little bit younger than them are slim. So they'll take advantage of the younger kids because the kids are going into puberty. They're not really understanding how their body is working. And boom, I got this one.
And as an adult, that's why it falls on us, right? As an adult, we're able to decipher that. And that's the problem, that adults are taking advantage, and they don't want to take the consequences for that sometimes, like the ones that were doing it to Justin Bieber. You guys are all adults. He felt awkward because these are celebrities and I'm a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's young, but you're an adult and you know exactly what you're doing.
You know what you're doing. He's young. He doesn't really understand everything. So in his mind, he's like, this is weird, but okay, I guess I'll just go with it. You know, and he's not fully understanding the concept of what, what's taking place.
Now, we're talking about, older women, younger men. So I have a video. I found it kind of funny, but it's ironic now based on what we're talking about. And tell me if this is even an appropriate comment coming from a woman in light of the type of environment that we're living in now, where you have to worry about, offending somebody or making them feel essayed, right? So I found this funny though, but now that I think about it, maybe this is not appropriate to say. Because who's this message being directed to? So I'm going to play this now too. Hold on one second. This is by design, passed through governments, pushed by schools, protected by the police. There's a lot going on, IBM. There's so much. I'm glad my son is out of school because I would be going crazy right now. But let me play this video real quick.
Trust me a cougar, me a jaguar, me a every guy. Cause my pussy good. Trust me.
I found it funny when she said she a cougar and her punani is good. Like, so you're a cougar. Who are you directing that to? An 18-year-old?
Cougars generally go for younger kids. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was like yuck. I found that so funny, but now that we're having this conversation, it's like, this is what I'm trying to say, right? Michael Rainey's not my son. Maybe if it was my son, I would be offended. Maybe I should put it that way. I saw her, the way she did it, I saw his look. To me, it didn't look like he felt violated, So I felt like he was embarrassed. But maybe if it was my son, maybe I would be like, no, he looks like he was violated. Would I take it? Would my stance be stronger because I'm directly affected by it?
Yeah, it was probably one of those. I'm shocked that it happened, but I don't really know how to process what she just did to me. How like something happens and you're kind of looking around like, this is awkward. I don't know how I feel about that.
How do you think he should have handled that situation?
I mean, I would have grabbed her hand and was like, hey.
But how do you think he should have handled that situation?
I think that he should have handled it different because she did that in front of little children.
Exactly. That part I was like, if I was a parent while all that happened, I would have been offended. Because my kid was there. Like, what if my kid would have turned around, and he would have been like, oh my God, what's going on? You don't know what the explanation I would have to make. Like, if depending on how young they were and how much exposure they have to things that happen like that, like, do you want to talk to your kids about stuff like that at that age? Because those kids look like they were all under 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know that, and that's
why.
But
look,
like,
at least your kid is grown.
Huh?
I said your kid is grown.
No, but I'm saying if he was young,
what
like,
I mean? Like,
young girl, like at that time,
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, your kid is grown. Your son is grown now. You know what I mean? Like, I can just imagine how much worse things are going to get for, like, say, people who just have kids and their kids got to grow up 17, 18 years from now. How bad the school system is going to be.
Denise lives in a state where they are teaching kids about sex education. I think it's in the 2nd grade, right, Denise? Hey, Randy Jean, how you doing? Hey.
Okay, sex education. Look, sex ed I'm okay with that.
No.
Because
no. The part of the curriculum that they're showing them how to perform fellatio.
No.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of funky stuff in the state of California. Even in the state of California, if you feel that you're in the wrong body and you want gender reassignment, you don't need your parents' permission. Like they're pushing a lot of stuff like that. Hey Joey, how you doing?
Okay,
Yes, I know Denise knows about
that sex ed is different than mine because we had like the orientation of how to use, you know, condoms. What's the risk of having sex at our age in high school? You know, you run the risk of becoming parents. You run the risk of catching a disease. You know what I mean? Like that was what we were taught. Nah, and we never was taught fellatio or anything like that. That's crazy. That's considered. Isn't that considered like almost? I can't say the word, the big P word.
You're showing them how to do it, and that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you're taking away their innocence. So sex education, sundown. I mean, I don't know. I think it depends on the kid. You take away their innocence when you're talking to them about stuff like that. You know, I don't know if it should be in high school. I don't know if it should be in middle school. I don't know. Not in elementary school. Are you crazy? High school is okay, but regular, normal education, none of that crap. Blood Moon, I believe they're doing that in California. Denise, correct me if I'm wrong. I heard from somebody.
That's borderline pedo.
Huh?
That's borderline, like, you know, pedo vibes. You teaching a child how to perform. That's man.
But Denise, don't you want that?
Can we break California off?
Like teaching them about LGBT community, teaching them about like if you have a daughter when she goes through when she first gets her period, or your kid going through puberty, like, so you want the school to teach your kid about that, or you want to teach your kid about that?
Yeah, I would rather teach my kid about that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think it'd be more receptive if the parent teaches them, you know, the ins and out of, you know, the risk of sexual activity, especially sexual activity when you're young and you don't understand how it works. Because
wouldn't you know the level of maturity that your kid has versus the teacher? When they're just doing it with a group of kids. They don't know what each kid's level of maturity is to handle that type of information.
Yeah, because look, recently, well, it's always been, we've always had this issue, but like the main issue with sex, it was pleasure, but it was mainly for reproductive purposes, right? You have sex to reproduce. That is what the baseline of all living things is to procreate and to produce more. The pleasure aspect of it is good, but when you break it all down, sex is to reproduce. That's what it's strictly for. It feels good, but it's mainly for reproducing. So when you had these kids, you know, like if you go on social media, you see just how pushed sexuality is now. They're going into it for like the pleasure, but they don't understand the consequences and the repercussions with that, especially when they're young. They just think about, you know, popping one off, and then the next thing you know, they 13 years old and they find out that they're gonna have a kid at 13. You know what I mean? It's like it's serious repercussions when you do it and you don't have the knowledge behind it. And I think that as a parent, if you sit your kid down and you talk to them about, you know, this is what could happen, you got these diseases, you got this. Right. Since that's your child, you can kind of gauge them more than say like a stranger that's just coming to give a 30-minute class.
Right. Like Denise says, she thinks that 5th graders should get it. Right. 5th grade means you're 10 years old, right? So not every 10-year-old is on the same level. Maybe that's too much for a 10-year-old. Maybe that 10-year-old has already been violated and they know way more than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of things to factor into that. Like, I don't know. Parents should teach the kids those things, not the school. That's what I feel. That's what I feel. I feel that the parents should be like that. The parents should, like, if the education, so the Board of Ed wants to give some sort of material on it that parents can use when they're going to teach their kids about that. That's fine, some sort of literature, but I don't think the school should determine when the kids should learn about that. I don't know, because the kid grows up in your home and you know your child, and you know what your child is ready. You know when, like, when you have a kid, like I knew with my son when I had to talk to him about drugs. I knew when I had to talk to him about sex. I could tell by what was going on, how he was moving, what he was talking to me about. When I knew, I said, okay, this is where we're at now. that used to always be my line, Sundown. This is where we're at now. Okay, so now we're gonna have this talk, and I'm gonna talk to you about this. Yeah, that was my. He'll tell you that was my famous line. Okay, this is where we're at right now. Okay, let's talk. Sometimes, yeah. So
it's what I think that generally, when the parents sit the kids down and they talk to them just about life experience.
Mm-hmm.
The risks of why this is important, why you need to. Okay, so if I sit my kids down and, me and me and the child's mother, if we sit our kid down and we talk to them about the importance of, not just sexual things like sexually, but just things in general, like why it's important to save, why it's important to plan ahead of time, why it's important to be punctual, why it's important to not fall into these kind of pitfalls, why it's not, or why you shouldn't let others dictate what you should be doing in life. You know what I mean? Like, if as parents, if we sit them down, it's more receptive to them. Because
right, and you'll know when to have that conversation. That's my whole point. You can determine when your kid. You're not going to have it at 5 with some kids. You might have it at 10. You might have it at 12. You'll know the level of sophistication that your kid has at that time to accept the information that you're providing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I knew when my son.
No, it's true.
And every kid doesn't arrive there at the same time.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
when I'll give you an example. So, like, my parents had that talk with my sister when my sister was 12, and she was receptive to it.
Right.
It took me until I was like 16 before I was receptive to it.
Girls, for some reason, girls, they I don't want to say smarter, they mature faster, and maybe with that maturity, they have their understanding is a little bit better. Now, that's not all girls, but maybe that's the majority of girls. But again, puberty start at I was around that age when all that was going on, Denise, and I'm not, I'm older. I'm a lot older. So, and it started with the foods. It started with the Similac. It started with the diapers. Everything started changing around the 70s. Denise, I think people are not aware of that. That's when we started moving to stuff that's artificial. I don't know if that makes sense.
The artificial push, yeah.
Everything was being artificialized. In other words, so they started introducing it in the 70s, and by the 90s, we were just away from everything. That's why cancer rates are so high and diabetes and all that, because everything, all the chemicals and synthetic stuff they put in our foods, and everything that we ingest now.
Not just that, but like water. So almost every single company that produces water, like bottled water, water like from water fountains, water filters, they all have like fluoride in them, and fluoride has been proven to lower IQ over time. So it's like big companies know that, and there's other avenues that they could use, or other options that they could use besides fluoride, but it's cheaper.
But they're saying they're putting other stuff in the water that makes boys, like boys. You ever heard that? And they say it's in the water.
I heard that.
And I'm like, but it's not fluoride. So what is it that they're saying that's in the water?
Man, it's so many chemicals in water that they don't tell you.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I remember my mother was telling me, because in New York, when we were younger, we used to drink tap water. Like, nobody bought water. We used to drink tap water. And if you wanted it really cold, you put it in a pitcher and you put it in the fridge, and then you would drink the tap water. So I said to my mother that, like, yeah, New York got the best water. She said, not no more. You can't drink the tap water. I was like, what? She said, you can't drink the tap water no more. So I'm like, so they're forcing us to buy bottled water? What are they doing to our water? Because New York water comes from New York State. It doesn't come from New York City. It comes from New York State. That's where our water used to be filtered through. So I don't know what's going on now. I was fortunate that my dad scared me, but also talked to me about safe sex and other things that would have happened to me if I gave up the majority. If I gave it up to the majority of kids, don't have that. No, it's true, and we can see it. Come on, guys. I guess that's just how you grow up. Like I don't know, Denise. It's hard. That's why I'm saying the parents should determine it, because you would know. I don't know if I guess you would blame the parent or give the parent the option. Like, you know, we you know, the Board of Ed suggests that you introduce this to children at 10 years old. Do you feel that your child, you know, they should make it like you would have a choice. Like, I'm gonna let my son or my daughter participate in the sex education class in the 5th grade. You can opt in or out. Don't take the choice away from me. That's a better way of putting it. You know, so it's not mandatory for everybody. We need to at least start teaching girls to document their period, male, that they'll have where they'll feel urges. Yep. Dumbing us down. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a lot of stuff that they put in, like the food that dumbs people down over time. Yeah. That's why, like, you know, just for like men, ED is so high because of all the chemicals and stuff that they put in food and water. That's why men suffer from ED like that.
Yes. On my community. Look at our grandma and grandpas. They were already Yeah, they were the conservative ones. Yeah, Denise, but okay, so right? Supposedly they weren't doing all that, right? But if they were and happened to get pregnant, you know what the next step was. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They had to get married. So that's where the conservativeness came in. So either they were married doing it already at that age, or if they weren't married and they ended up doing it and something came about that, they were forced to get married. The water comes from the Bronx River. Stop lying. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. My parents never taught me about sex or school. I don't even want to tell you how my mother went about it. I don't even want to tell you how my mother went about it. But I'll tell you this.
Could you imagine like how barbaric, just going back to like the whole like getting pregnant way back in the day? Do you know how barbaric like abortion was? They were using clothes hangers and shit like that because there was no Planned Parenthood or no abortion pills. So if they had an abortion, they had to really do some drastic stuff to have it.
That's right.
That's why I think that it was more cautionary back in the day, because when a girl got pregnant, she got pregnant, and there wasn't really much that she could really do about it.
Right.
So to save face or to you know, do what you were supposed to do, they were forced to marriage.
Right. I mean that I believe that's what the conservativeness was back then, right? So now that's all out the window. Everything goes out the window. So now we're saying, yes, we know kids are having sex young. Yes, we're saying, why don't we promote birth control pills? We're saying, why don't we talk to kids about sex at such and such age? I feel like we're taking away their innocence. We're taking away their innocence. Roychester, you're right. It comes from Niagara Falls, or it used to come from Niagara Falls. That Real Rican Rap, thank you for stopping by. Salute. Thank you. You too. God bless you too. Thank you so much for stopping by, LP. Thank you so much. Rico. Two of the Rico squad was here today. Thank you so much. But Sundown, I feel like the school system is just, I don't know, they're just taking away too much. I lost my virginity at 17. I'm lost. My virginity at 17 to 22 years old. What are you saying? You lost it at 17 to 22? You're trying to tell us it was around that time? Or
he's saying he lost it to a 22-year-old.
Oh, at 7. Okay, I'm lost. I'm okay. He lost his virginity at 17 to 22-year-old. Okay. That's perfect, Irby. So I don't think you told your mommy about that, right? Is that something you kept to yourself? Did you tell your father? I don't know if that's, digging into your business too much, but if I would have found out that my son lost it to a 22-year-old, I would have had a talk with that 22-year-old. I would have been pissed too, though. I would have most definitely been pissed, but I would have had to talk to that 22-year-old. He only get one virginity. Okay, then did you see I wasn't the only one confused? That has been happening for decades. More Hispanic kids in New York today are going to college than before. Okay. Cool. That's because we're talking first generations, right? On Blood Moon, I think that makes a difference. I told somebody that, and they were, that was rape. Yeah, technically it was.
Yeah, it is.
It was. You were a minor, and she was an adult. And if your parents would have found out and wanted to be assholes about it, yeah, they could have brought her up on charges. See, in that scenario, you can bring the person up on charges because then your parent is the one that's stepping in on your behalf, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I learned from watching the hoes around me chose to do things differently. See, some kids are smart that way, Blood Moon, and some of them you actually have to actually talk to them. That's what I'm trying to say. Your level of maturity and your level of experience. Some people can get it that way, and some didn't. My grandmother talked to me. It wasn't even my mother. It was my grandmother. Yes, I did that. My grandmother was very blunt and very matter of fact. One of her sayings was keep your eyes open and keep your legs closed. Like that's basically what I like. Don't even think about doing it. Just make sure you keep your eyes open, you observe everything, but close your freaking legs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I hope that as time goes on, they bring up they're able to bring up the fact that just because it's a guy doesn't make it any different when it happens to them.
But what is it going to take to get that enacted into law? Like, what is it going to take?
I don't know, man, because you've seen like female teachers sleeping with men or sleeping with little boys, and they sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, they do. And that's what I'm trying to say. When is that going to change? Look, I like what Denise said because this is true. And that's why... Okay, she said, I'm sorry, but we need to understand that children today have access to a lot of stuff, and it's best to have your kids educated beforehand. The reason why they have so much access is because of that cell phone, Denise. That cell phone, oh God, my son told me, okay, I might as well. Should I put this? No, I'm gonna keep that to myself. I'll tell you something like that outside of that. But the kids have so much access to stuff that you'd be surprised. And that right there, Denise, makes sense. So then you have to decide when they're going to have so much access, because if they don't have that cell phone, then they don't have access. They're going to get some stuff in the TV, but you still control that or whatever you're streaming. But the cell phone, they get everything from the cell phone. They can look at porno from the cell phone. They can Google anything from the cell phone, So it's that cell phone. I did too when I think about it. She was. No, you didn't tell your parents. You see? Why didn't you tell your parents, Irby? Because that was just your rite of passage and that's something you wanted to keep to yourself. And you didn't think that she was older than you and she shouldn't have been doing that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know at 17, you're not thinking about that. You're just like, oh, she's 22. She looked good. And yeah, I did it. And that was that. I was 18. I still love her. Oh, I hope that means you're still with her. That's so cute. Or she's your first and you always fall in love with your first and you never get over it. Was it a man or woman? Oh my God, who are you talking to, Ronan? Or are you talking to Irby? Blood Moon que fresca. What or not? You assume it was a woman.
Yeah, it's not just porn, like not even the actual porn. It's like if you go on Instagram or any kind of social media, they push sexuality. So you'll see women walking through like grocery stores twerking. You'll see women walking with like super short skirts on, bending over just to get people's reaction.
Without that cell phone, you won't see all that.
Yeah,
like you can decide when you want the kids to be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I don't even think kids are on Facebook anymore, but TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. Because my son says we don't even, because I was like, you guys exchange numbers. He was like, no, we do the Snapchat thing. Like, that's how they keep in contact with each other. So you see stuff on there too. Like, you don't know, I had to talk to my son about don't send pictures of your junk. And not now, when he was younger. Like, you know, since they all have
Yeah.
cell phones, and then, you know, they're going through puberty and they're starting to like girls and stuff like that. I had to have that talk. Like, don't you ever do something like that, because I think there was an incident when he was younger in high school of some boy who got in trouble that he had to register as a sex offender because he did that.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's the cell phone. No
Yeah,
cell
and you can get trapped. Say like you got a girlfriend, or say you got a little fling interest, and you send her, you know, a picture of your junk, and then y'all have a falling out. She can take that picture and be like, he was harassing me because look, at this day he sent me this.
Yep. Sex typically goes one way, and we all know it. That doesn't make a woman predators. It's predators impossible. But it's like, come on. Is that rare? It's usually unbelievable. I was surprised that the little girl did it driving. She was 22. I was 18. Oh boy. Another one that took advantage of you. But oh hell, we're about the same age. So back then it wasn't looked at like she took advantage of you. It was looked at like, well, you know, they would have patted you on the back. They would have said, you know, you did your thing, right? That's like a rite of passage. That's you know, and that's the past. That's Gen X. That's that generation. Like this generation now, shit, wreck your life thinking that's cool. I was educated at private school, and that was so conservative that you couldn't even wear jewelry or a headband. Yet we saw our friends hacking computers to watch porn. Yeah. One thing that, you know, one thing makes sense and the other one doesn't. I'm not referring to little boys neither. I mean males above 18. No. I guess that's the Blood Moon, because Blood Moon assumed or didn't want to assume that it was a woman, that it could have been a man. And that they would have freely told us that too, Blood Moon, in this chat. Yeah. I like this. Okay, so this conversation brought about a lot of stuff, okay? Because it always goes down to your kid. But you know, I was like, if that was my daughter, if that was my daughter who put her hands on a man's junk like that, the conversation I would have had with her would have been, she would have been so embarrassed.
Yeah.
She would have been so embarrassed, and she would never. And she would have apologized to him too. And I would have been proud that he didn't want to make a point with my kid and put her through some shit, because I think maybe that's why he's trying to save her from that. You know, because she's already going to be humiliated. That's going to stay on there forever. She's the girl that grabbed Michael Rainey's junk in front of all these kids. Porn is free, but you have to pay to watch the game. Right? 22 Ron, that's crazy. He's right. Look at that. This world is crazy. Sundown. Porn is free, but you have to pay to watch a game.
Yeah.
And kids can get that on their cell phone. And like you just said, they can go on IG too. They can, you know, look at those what do you call those, like the OnlyFans stuff. They can do all that.
Yeah. Like OnlyFans, the models, they pay so much for like marketing on Instagram that like, even if you're not into that, right? So like you might be on Instagram and you might look up like some MMA or boxing, or like you might be into like dogs and animals and stuff like that. But they pay so much for marketing that even if you're not into like looking at that kind of stuff, it's always going to pop up because they pay to get their stuff put at the front. So like I might be on there. I'm into like, you know, wrestling and stuff like that. But as soon as I refresh my page, it's like 15 or something girls that come on with OnlyFans. So I got to click on not interested, and it'll go away.
Yeah.
But it's always at the forefront because they pay so much money to get marketing.
Right.
It always pushes whatever their material is and at the front.
Yes,
like there was a OnlyFans model that I guess she thought it was cool to shoot like a sex scene with somebody out on a balcony in broad daylight, and like you could hear the people saying, "Hey, I got my kids here. Dude, take that inside. My kids are out here."
Wow.
And they thought it was funny.
Wow. That's crazy. I just think that, you know, okay, so you get participation trophies. We're in a PC culture, but then shit like that, people don't take seriously. Sex education for your kids, they don't take that seriously. Gender reassignment, they don't take that seriously. And I say they don't take it seriously because I think Denise said, what she said, 12? That you don't need your parents' consent or something? And that's crazy. What do you mean? You're going to tell me that my kid could tell you he feels like a girl today and he's 13 and he doesn't need my permission to have a life-changing operation to make him feel like what he feels like. Today he can feel like a girl, tomorrow he can feel like a dog, and when he becomes an adult, he'll feel like the man that he is. Come on now. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Remember when Danny had touched on that situation? Where the hell is Danny anyway?
I don't know. And Danny meant everything we're talking about. Danny mentioned. He mentioned everything already.
Yeah, because he was like, remember when he was talking about how like school pushes sexuality. So
2 years ago,
you might have your friend. That's your friend. And you know, as a kid, you'll be like, yeah, that's my friend. I love my friend.
Yep.
And then they'll put it into your head that you love him because you wish you were a woman, or maybe you think that, you know, deep down you might be a woman.
Right. That's why
then,
you saw that video I put last week, right? About the homosexual man. He didn't want the PDA in front of his kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same reason. It's the same reason. He didn't want to confuse his kid. Like, I don't know.
That's why, you know, certain things I say is unforgivable, right? And manipulating children, I would say, is probably the most unforgivable because they're children. You know what I mean? I feel like children, deep down, they might do some crazy stuff, but I think that children in general are pure creatures because they don't know any better. As they get older, then that's when they start to learn how to conform and to manipulate and do all that other stuff. But when they're children, you know, children are innocent. And for you to have this agenda to try to start pushing it on children and start corrupting them, because, like, you know, when you do things to children, it can actually alter how their brain chemicals work. Like, it can alter their brain to where it starts to develop in a different way, right?
That's
so
why I
like,
didn't want to be a teacher, Sundown. That's why I didn't want to be a teacher. I don't know if that makes sense to you. I didn't want to be responsible for I didn't really like kids anyway, right? And I didn't want to be responsible for having that what you were about to describe right now, that effect on children.
Yeah, because like if a child, let's say, if you come from an abusive home, as a child, that can warp how your brain works. So now you see things different. Then you become borderline, what do they call it? Borderline personality disorder.
Yep.
To where you start to compartmentalize and you become more aggressive.
Yep.
And the same thing sexually. A kid can see something sexually and it can alter how they work for the rest of their life because they were exposed to something at such an early age that it did something to them.
Yeah, traumatize them. Yeah. And you didn't even know that. Sometimes you go in knowing that, and sometimes you don't. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think every kid goes through a certain type of trauma. I even told my son that. I said, I don't know what. He's like, oh, no, you never did nothing to me. I was like, when you get older and you get closer to having kids or just figuring out who you are, you'll realize, like, damn, my mother shouldn't have did this, or she should have been like this. Like, you know, not anything I would have done purposely, but, you know, we do. I'm not saying a serious trauma, but we always do something that might make our kids feel some sort of way. And they might say, when I have kids, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, okay, I'll tell you one thing.
With this.
Spankings.
Yep.
Like beating your kid. Like, there's a difference between correcting something that they did and then beating the shit out of them, right? Because I've been on the receiving end of both. And I know that when you sit a kid down and you talk to them and you explain what it is, and you know, why it made you upset and why you're punishing them. They'll understand it. Some of them are bad. Some of them you might want to be like, look, you're about to make me throw you up against this wall. But there's a difference between, but there's a difference between like correcting actions and explaining why you're correcting actions than to just be mad and go in there and just beat the shit out of your kid because they did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was studies that showed that can mess with kids' personalities because humans, animals, or people in general, any creature, no creature likes to be hit. No creature likes to be aggressively punished, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you take a dog and you beat the shit out of it, it's going to hurt that dog. If you take a cat and you beat the shit out of it, it's going to hurt them over time. And over time, they're going to become more aggressive. That's the same thing with children. If you take a child and any time that they do something, you go out there and you just beat the shit out of them, that kid is going to grow up and have major issues when he gets older, whether it's aggression issues, whether it is PTSD, whether it's hypertension, whether it's other mental disorders. Like they're going to develop that over time because that's just not a way to handle situations.
Right.
And usually they become more aggressive. They go out there and they start hurting animals. They go out there and they start hurting smaller children. They go out and they develop unconscious hatred for their parents because their parents are the root cause of all of that suffering. So they'll grow up and be aggressive towards their parents just because they were beating the shit out of them.
Right.
And become more distant.
Now, growing up, that was a thing that wasn't seen as abuse, right? Now it's funny how Blood Moon said that until you make you bleed. But you know, if a kid calls the cops or calls the authorities on your parents for making them sit on rice, you can get in trouble for that too, and you don't even have to bleed. Like they determine what kind of punishment you can give your child. Like that, you know. I think that was a bit much. Jeffrey Dahmer did all that. I think that was a bit much with the rice and even the beatings and all that. And you know what I did? Sundown, I said I'm not going to do that to my kid. And I got lucky that I had a kid that I didn't have to put my hands on him like that. That was luck because there are some kids that you're like, you know what? Verbal discipline is not going to work with this because that too, you have to cater discipline to the child that you have. Every child is not the same. So, but that's one thing I said I didn't want to do. I'm a yeller, and yelling is not good either. But I think the yeller is better than me physically putting because to me, I felt like it made me feel some sort of way. So I didn't want to make my kid feel that. So I didn't want to do that. The punishment for them calling the cops will be worse. So, look, my mother used to threaten me with that, Blood Moon. I told her that one day, and I was laughing. She said, I'm not laughing. And she put that phone in front of me. She said, you call. And when you hang up, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. So when they come lock me up, they got a reason to come lock me up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine telling your kid that? Like, you know, and I'm looking at her like the shit that she's done back then. If she did it today, she would be in jail. She would be locked up.
Yeah, it's a difference between like, you know, like, okay, as we got older, like, you know, the forms of punishment changed. Mm-hmm. So my mom and my dad were in really good shape. So they would punish us by making us do push-ups. They would punish us by making us do this thing called like flutter kicks and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Squats, wall squats, holding books for prolonged periods of time. That worked better than them beating the shit out of us because the only thing that it made me want to do was go into my room, pack my shit, and run away.
Oh, I don't even want to tell you how I did that. I ran away several times. Oh man, it's crazy. And the thing, my kid would have never thought that. You know, I forgot what I did one day. I disciplined her son. I was like, I know you was like, I hate her. I hate her. He's like, I never said that about you, Mom. I was like, oh, because I've said that. You know, you get in the room and you're crying and you and your pillow like, I hate her. I hate that bitch. I hate her. Yeah. I was, you know, and he said, I never thought that about you. I was like, aw. Because I know I did. Sounds like my mother. I'm telling you. So that's true. It is true, man. I don't know. I think we need to. I mean, what happened with Michael Rainey Jr. I think is a good thing in a way that it shed light on whether or not we should start taking things that happen to men more seriously. I mean, come on now. First, who was it that got physically assaulted? Who? It wasn't a celebrity, but there was a man, I think, who excuse me, I don't know if it was the wife or the girlfriend that was beating on him. Like, you know, men that get physically abused too, sexually abused. Like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to enact some stuff to make it broad. So even if it's just you know, I just want to make him feel good or I just want to see his reaction, you won't be so compelled to do it because it's against the law. It's against the law.
But yeah, I made a vow. I said, if I have a child, I will never put my hands on him because I know what it's like to have my parents put their hand. Look, man. So I was never okay. We had 3 personalities, right? So I got 3. So I got my sister and then I got my brother. So we all had distinctly different personalities. My sister was the really, really bad one, right? And like me, my thing was when I used to go to school, I used to always get into fights.
Right.
I used to always get into fights. And then as I got older, you know, I stopped going to school like that. So that was my thing. My little brother was like the nerd of the family. Like, he used to build those like wooden planes and Lego planes and all this other stuff. So he was the really technical kid. I was the kid that was always fighting, and my sister was the one that was always in trouble. Like,
the girls are sneaky.
Yeah. I seen my parents beat my sister so bad that I thought that they were gonna kill her one time because we got passports and we had to go overseas. My sister, she was, like I said, she was really bad. So she didn't want to go overseas because she didn't want to leave her friends. So she took her passport and she cut it up. And when she cut it up, my parents saw it. And when I say they took turns, have you seen the movie Goodfellas?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That scene, I don't want to laugh, but that scene in the bar when the dude was like, "Go home and get your fucking shine box," and then he came back later.
Yeah.
And him and De Niro were on him. Like, that's how they were on my sister.
Wow.
They were beating my sister. Yeah, they were whooping my sister's ass. And with me, I just always got into fights. But other than that, I was a good kid. And my little brother was always a good one. So I learned from watching my sister. So I seen how my sister used to get beat, and I was like, man.
But you would think, like, still, like, I used to be like, how did my parents be able to beat me and not feel bad for doing it, regardless of what I did? Unless I put my hands on you, I don't think anything I could have done would have warranted half the beatings I got. So even what your sister did, you said that they disciplined her. Don't you think that was excessive?
Yes, that was excessive.
You know, so I'm just like,
I thought that, like,
they were gonna kill her.
I thought that they were gonna, like, do something like major to her. And granted, we were still able to go overseas, even though they had the chopped up
Just made it a little bit more difficult, yeah.
Yeah, it was more difficult. We were still able to go. But just seeing that, like, I had never seen that. Like, my mom jumped on her, then my dad jumped on her, then they both jumped on her, then my dad took a break, my mom jumped back. It was like,
that part. That's the part I'm talking about. Like, get the F out of here with that. She cut up the passport. That was a huge thing. Yeah, Blood Moon, but look what he's describing. Like, you can replace a passport. What if, you said it took turns. A man is stronger than a woman. What if he hit her by mistake and she fell and hit her head and she got unconscious and she died from internal bleeding? I mean, I always think worst case scenario. Shit like that happens. That happens. God forbid, Sundown. What if something like that would have happened?
Yeah, like that was the worst ass whooping I ever seen.
You would have to explain to authorities that this happened over her cutting up a passport.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
now, granted, we were supposed to leave that next morning. We were supposed to leave that, and that next day we were supposed to fly out.
Right.
So she did it, and it was like, it was so, yeah, it was so last moment that there was nothing that they could do. And I'm pretty sure that they kind of were in a state of you know how like you black out?
Yeah.
Because there was there was nothing that we could do.
That's happened to my mother. I know when she blacks out like that. And I was like, that's not good. That's dangerous. That's dangerous, Sundown. To black out on your kid, that's dangerous, because I used to say, what would this person do to a stranger if you could do this to me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm your kid. Like, you know, I don't know. That's no bueno. No bueno. Remember on Good Times? Yes. The Big Mac. Yes. It's I don't know. So I never think about my kid, and I was like, I could have not. I don't think there's anything he could have done that would have warranted me to discipline him like that. And how I would have been crying. Yeah. I would have been crying too. Like, I can't hit him like that. Maybe I'm awake for that, you know.
Like that ass whooping. I said that's the one where I made it up in my mind. I was like, I will never put my hands on my kids when I have them.
And I've heard a story like this before. Parents taking turns. I've heard that story before. So.
Yeah. So they both jumped on her.
Yeah.
Then my mom took over. My dad stopped. My dad came back, and it was like the fucked up thing about it. It's not funny, but it is funny because my dad was whooping her, and then my mom was like, "That's enough. That's enough." So then he stopped, and then she jumped back on her.
Now, does this sister have kids yet? Does this sister have kids yet?
No.
Okay, so now, you know, I have my kid, right? And my mom was kind of like that too, you know? So when I had my son, and I think maybe I did, because I might have spanked him once or yelled at him or whatever. My mother was like, don't do that. You're going to make them aggressive. I was like, what? I looked at her like, man, if that was the case, I'd be a serial killer right now. What are you talking about? Make them aggressive. Like, because when they become grandparents, Sundown, they forget.
Yeah, they forget. They forget
how bad they were. That would be child abuse. It was child abuse. In a sense, you know, they were angry. I get it. You know, that passport, how we're going to get it right away. You know, that's going to cost me money. You set me back because you're being a spoiled brat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I get the anger. It's just like where you put that anger at that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I understand the anger, but what you did afterwards is the part that I don't understand.
Yeah, but like, if you like, you got to take it to consideration. So it was like we had to leave that next day.
No, I understand.
We had to leave that next day, and it was we couldn't do. There was no. Okay, we leave in 3 weeks. She cut up her passport. Is there a way that we can get it? Is there a way that we can get another one expedited? What are we going to do? In worst case scenario, we'll go send her to stay with one of my aunts or my uncles, their families, or go stay with my grandparents. Something. There was none of that. It was, yo, we fly out tomorrow and you just cut up your passport. What are we going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. That's what I'm saying. I understand it, but I think that would have been like when if I sort of tell you that, I'm not even embarrassed or ashamed to say it, but like instead of putting my hands on him, I would grab my son by his shirt and talk to him real close and be like, you know, like threatening him, like, you know what I'm saying? I would see tears come out his eyes, and I was like, you see, I didn't even have to put my hands on him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt better doing that than physically harming him. Like I couldn't do that. I just couldn't do that. I don't know.
But like what saved me was being really active. You know what I mean? Because like I did sports and all that other stuff. Like I wrestled and everything, and I saw how that was a way for me to channel like all of that pent up energy. Because like I had ADHD and everything. Like I was on Ritalin. I had like that patch that they had. I had all of that stuff, and you know, my mom, my grandmother. You know, my mom's mom, she was like, look, they experimenting on them children. Don't be giving them children that stuff because it could have adverse reactions. So my mom put me in gymnastics. And that was a way for me to channel like all of that pent up energy. And it helped me. So as I got older, I was less destructive because I burnt all my energy out. Like with a kid, if you do have a kid like that, have them channel that energy into something productive.
All right. Well,
have them be active in sports. Have them.
I was almost put on Rutland too, almost, and then but boy, and my mother always tells me the story. She said the doctor said that she said the doctor said you want your daughter to be a drug addict by the time she's 13. So her other alternative was like seeing a psychiatrist, a specialist. But that was the alternative. But I was like, damn, they have Rutland back then. They want to give, because every time somebody mentions Rutland now, I'm like, wow, that's an old ass drug. They're still giving kids that?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it was like there wasn't any kind of concrete, because ADHD is something that's recent, like in the last 30 years.
I've had that since I was little. No. They just didn't call it ADHD. No, but they would prescribe Rutland for it. Yeah, I had that. That's my diagnosis. I told you the doctor said either Rutland or take it to a psychiatrist. And my mother's like, the doctor said if I want you to be a drug addict, I can give you the Rutland, but it was gonna make me mongo. So I don't know what effect it had on you, but my mother chose the alternative. She chose to take me to a psychiatrist.
No, I had a lot of energy, and the Ritalin, what it would do is it would take all that energy out, and I would just sleep.
Yeah.
So I would go from being really, really active and, going out, running around, doing wheelies, doing backflips off of stuff. I would go do that. And then I would take Ritalin, and then I would just come in the house and just lay down. And my mom didn't like that. And my grandmother really didn't like that. She was like, don't be putting them kids on that stuff. They don't know what that stuff is. They just testing them and doing all this other stuff, and it can mess with their brains. Yeah. So my mom took me off of it. But I remember 4th grade, after every lunch, I had to go to the doctor's office or go talk to the nurse. And I had that little bitty tiny cup of water, and then I have a Ritalin pill, and I had to take that Ritalin pill.
Yeah.
Then they came out with the patch, and I had to take that patch. Man,
it is Randy, kind of.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Blood Moon.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. All you Geminis, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Gemini season's almost over though, isn't it? My baby's dad put my son on it. Yep, and he went from him to drawing in the corner. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, and you see Sundown said that because I was too hyper too. Sundown, I was like that. Titi, I like you. Thank you. I love to laugh. I took him off it. Yeah, it's I don't know. But it worked for Sundown. You see, they did that and they gave him an extracurricular activity, so it worked for him. So
yeah, burn it off, burn the energy off doing something constructive. Because just drugs. I feel like pills and drugs are a temporary fix, but they have adverse reaction or adverse effects down the line.
Mm-hmm. Here, Blubble, that's because she's a teacher. Some kids with behavioral problems should be drugged. Yeah, but you know what I heard the other day? It was I think he's 19 now or 18. No, maybe he's not an adult yet, but he's so strong. And he's I don't know what level he's at with his autism, but he beat up his occupational therapist, 2 of them. So they took him out of the program and all that. And the mother's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's so strong. And if he was medicated, that wouldn't happen. But, it happens. Sugar.
Yeah.
You see how he said sugar's the culprit? Like I was saying, old head, in the 70s, that's when they started changing stuff up. Sugar still wasn't changed until about the 80s, though. But everything was going artificial. Sugar isn't the same sugar that we had back when we was little. Even milk. I was telling was it Blood Moon? No, Denise, when she was talking about kids having their periods and stuff at 9 and 10 years old. I was one of those, and that's when they were pumping, steroids and stuff in cows. And I used to drink milk like crazy. Like I think about all these things sundown, and I'm like, yeah, this is when this started. This is when that started. This is why I got this. This is why I got that. Now every kid is not the same. Every kid didn't get the same result. But that's part of the worst case scenario with the stuff that they were doing.
Yeah.
The stuff that
and like you said about the sugar thing. So in Germany, they don't have GMOs. Germany, they have all their stuff is organic.
Mm-hmm.
So like all the canned food, like they have canned food, but it's not as much as like in the States.
Right.
So like, if you actually go to a fancy restaurant and you look at the sugar, that's actual sugar. If you go to a store, you'll see actual sugar, and it looks nothing like the sugar that we have in the States.
Yep. You know what
And
I
it
found
doesn't
out?
even taste the same.
I was watching. I forgot what I was watching. It probably was on TikTok or something like that. I don't think I took the video. You ever had Pringles?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't say potato chips on there, right? Pringles potato chips.
Well, it's been a long time since I've seen some.
Yeah,
some
they
Pringles.
can't say that. Pringles is made up of. It's like these chemical. It's this chemical substance that they make these bunch of chemicals. They put it through, whatever machines they put it through. They put some oil on it. They flatten it up and they bake it, and boop, those are your Pringles. It's not even potatoes. You're not even eating real food.
Is that why the texture is always like so different with Pringles?
Yes, it's definitely different, but it tastes so good, right?
Yeah.
I don't eat chips often, but I know Pringles taste really good, and I got to tell my mother about it because she loves her Pringles. It's not even chips. It's not even chips.
So if just think about the stuff that they're not showing us, like that's something minuscule. You know what I'm saying? Like that's chips. Just imagine all the other manufactured foods out there that we're eating, and we think that it's one thing, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. And that's what everything. I even now, like since the pandemic and all that, and how you're getting meats and foods and everything went up, and everything went up, but the quality of your food went down.
Mm-hmm.
I have to over-examine everything, and I'm like, you know what? And even to eat healthier, it costs you more money, but you don't even know if you're really eating healthy.
If you're really eating healthy.
Yeah, I found out about the water. You know, people want alkaline water. You know, if it has the white cap, it's like tap water. The only time you really have an alkaline water if it has that black cap. They said that somewhere. Like I was reading that up somewhere. You go down a rabbit hole when you start trying to figure everything out. How do you stay healthy?
Yeah,
What do you
because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta think about it. Like they don't tell you this, but there's an overpopulation of humans because again, technology has made life, simple to where at one point in time you had to go hunt for your food. And when you got that food, you had to keep it from predators. You had to be able to store it so it could last you a couple of days. And if you didn't, you would die, right? So there was a time where humans had to hunt their food. Now, all you got to do is just go to a store that's 100 feet away from your apartment, or maybe a quarter of a mile away from where you stay, and they got all the food there. So now what's happening is we got so many people that the stress that we're putting on, say, like vegetation, the stress that we're putting on animals, it's just we're consuming so much food and we're wasting so much food that we're starting to run out of it. That's what I think. I think if you go down a rabbit hole, you'll start to see that humans are eating so much food that things are becoming scarce, and they have to result to chemical like engineering or genetically modifying like superfoods like chickens, like they're putting the steroids in the chickens and all this other stuff, because just think of how much we're consuming on a daily basis. It's putting a stress on the animal population. So that's why they're going through and they're making these things that look like food. They might taste like food, but it's technically nothing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Even with chicken, it's like I try to eat better, and I'm like, I don't even know if I'm eating better. Like, I hear on TV they said like when you get your vegetables, you should clean it with vinegar and do this and do that and do the other. And I'm like, what difference does it make if you're only doing that to the outside? And I'm sure it affected the inside. Like, rinse it out and and
yeah,
for the best. Like, and that's sad, but you got to hope for the best. And I know
Mhm.
that that's because they're doing all that because we're overpopulated. And that's why I thought the pandemic was for, like to bring down the
To
population.
thin some of the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I figured it was. And then I found out that Bill Gates, what did he buy? They just said what did he buy? He bought, oh my God, I forgot. I didn't take that down. I can't think of what it is that he bought now that they're saying, he bought something that they're like, oh my God, he's going to control that. Like, then we know that we're doomed now. It's like, why are they letting him buy all this? Why is he the consumer of all these things and has that much control over what the population does or ingests? In-N-Out Burger or pastrami every now and then. You know, I cut out sugar and carbs from my diet. And then I was really, really tired one time. My son was like, because you're not eating carbs, Ma. You have to have some, something. And I was like, I can't, because it's like I can't eat a little bit. And then I'll do my diet for 2 weeks and then I'll binge 2 days, like hardcore.
Yeah.
Is that bulimic? Is that me being like bulimic? Like, what is that? Because they say sugar is stronger than coke. That your addiction to sugar is stronger than your addiction to cocaine. And I believe it.
It's that spike. It's the what do they call it? Insulin spikes.
The insulin, yep.
That you get from it.
Yep. So that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. So maybe we can segue into this now with the body dysmorphia. Now, Sundown, I'm focusing on women, right?
Okay.
So did you know that women they called them the strong women back then? Instead of like bodybuilding, they called it like strong women. Well, they had strong women back in the days. And they would, I didn't know that. And that started in the late 1800s. I thought you retired from YouTube. I see this Titi Juju, but didn't know that was you. I just changed my name. I mean, I don't go live that often, but I have for the past couple of weeks. So I don't know how long that lasts. You start getting into it, Bermuda Breeze, and then you just be like, oh, I don't want to do it no more. And I'd rather just sit in the chat. And that almost happened today because I was really, 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 really tired. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just won't do it. Maybe I'll do something tomorrow. But yeah, I'm here for now. So that's my name. And I hope you enjoy the stream. We were talking about Michael Rainey Jr. and being groped by that girl. She grabbed this package, and now we're going to move on to body dysmorphia in women. And I want to focus on both the BBLs and then, because that's one extreme, to look feminine or what they perceive as looking more feminine or whatever. And then, thank you, Ohead, thank you so much. And then the women who overdo it with working out. Like we were talking about, what's her name? Deborah Rakowski, whatever her name is. The one that looks like a man now. And that's what I want you to tell me, because what drugs is it that women take? What steroid is it that women take to get them like that?
It's a mixture. There's the three big ones are tren, steroids, and clenbuterol. I think that's what the other one is. It's those three. I think so.
Now, what does that affect? What is that? That's a chemical that affects what? How fast?
I have no idea. Yeah, I honestly I don't know much about like clen, but I know that like tren is it's kind of like a synthetic HGH. And supposedly when you take it, it doesn't do as much damage to the organs, because if you look at people that are into bodybuilding and then you just see them abusing steroids, they end up getting that steroid gut, right? The steroid gut is they have this super huge stomach because their organs are swollen, but then when they flex, they go from having a huge belly to this huge six-pack. And the tren was supposedly a way to combat that whole bloated look from your organs being swollen, because your organs aren't muscles. You know what I mean? They're organs. So once they start swelling, there comes a point where you can't reverse it no matter what you do. So like once your kidneys, your liver, your intestines, like they start to swell, and it comes to a point where there's irreparable damage. So you'll walk around with that huge gut for the rest of your life because now your organs are 1.5 times the normal size. So it's supposedly to help stop the potential organ damage that you get from abusing steroids.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So what I want to do is just start from the beginning. I don't know all these women's names. Most of them are from Eastern Europe, but I'm going to show a video about 3 women that started what they call that strong woman era, where women were, I guess that's what that's what started getting women into not feeling weaker or wanting their physique to look different, or maybe something. And I think one of them was really tall, so she didn't have any choice. She ended up being in the circus, but they called her a strong one, and that's what they started calling women who look rather muscular, but they're so different from the women today. Let me see if I got that video up. I don't know if you're aware of those women too, because I never knew that.
Yeah, so that's normal, like in Eastern Europe and like Sweden and Norway. So like if you look at all the strong men, like the Mountain from the Game of Thrones, like that's what they do. Those guys are huge, even the women. That's why you always see that joke where they always joke on like Russian women or women from like the Ukraine being these big women that wear babushkas and all this stuff.
Yep. Well, you know what they said here? That they said that they call it muscle dysmorphia, right? And they said it's been identified in China, South Africa, and Latin America, and most non-Western populations because they have experienced sexual assault. Have you ever heard that?
No, it's my first time hearing that.
Yeah, and it's usually women from those countries. So when I said Eastern Europe, I mean, I don't know what life is like. Like, women they live in places where they have no rights, where if you with an abusive man, they can just take advantage of you and you have no way of getting out of it, So maybe that's what pushed them to overcompensate. It became kind of OCD, overcompulsive disorder,
Yeah.
But this is how it started. When the women started, like, looking like bodybuilders. Let me see if I got the video. Yeah. It's a short video, but it'll show how these these were the most popular ones. I think it's 3 of them. Hold on. Oh, no music? Oh. I didn't realize that I must have took the music out of there because I didn't want to get a copyright strike. But were you able to see, like, the last one? She was the one that was in a circus. Her father was in a circus, and she was in a circus. So I don't know how real that is. How much? I don't know if back then they were able to manipulate your size.
No.
Huge, or they picked little men. I don't know how that worked. But I've seen.
Yeah, that's what they used to do. So like, in a lot of those pictures that you see way back in the day, they'll have like these giant men. They would put them around women that were like 5'2", 5'1", to kind of push them to look like giant guys, but they actually weren't. They just put them next to short women, smaller women.
So they did the same thing with the women, because I'm just like,
yeah,
that big back then too? Like, no. Okay, so then I'm gonna speed up another. Well, that's a late 18. That was 18, like around 1891. So I'm gonna speed it up to. I guess this was in the 80s. And her name is Isabel Terrell. You ever heard of Isabel Terrell? Okay, let me show you Isabel Terrell. Now, Sundown, how could anybody think that that's attractive?
Some men do find that attractive.
God, it's disgusting.
Yeah, so they call them muscle mommies. That's what the new term is.
Muscle mommies?
Yes.
Calling it muscle dysmorphia. Oh
no, it's body dysmorphia. It's body dysmorphia, but the guys that are into women that look like that, they call them muscle mommies.
Oh, muscle mommies. Okay, story was another thing in the 1800s. It became pop. Yeah, but I'm just saying that's was the beginning of it. Like how they got started, how women got started into trying to get the physique, I guess, to look more like men. Because like this, I don't know who she is. I just saw the video, and I said, "Oh God, like that's excessive." Like, you know, and it's an extreme. Like women go to the extreme to be either that muscular, or they go to the extreme with plastic surgery or BBLs. Like the BBLs are disgusting. I'm gonna get to that next, but it's just like I don't know. I don't find it attractive. It's not attractive. I don't know. But there's a fetish for everything, right? Sundown. There's men who like to smell used panties. I mean, that, you know, are into feet. So I'm not surprised that there's something like that. Bodybuilders find those women attractive. Really? Because I've seen bodybuilders with fat women. Why is that, Sundown? Like girlfriends or wives will be they don't work out. They don't exercise. They'll be with fat.
Yeah, you know that is a common thing. There's a joke about that for like bodybuilders. The guys, they say the guys work out twice as hard so that the women don't have the girls don't have to. But yeah, so I mean, coming from like on the outside looking, and I can respect that because that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of time to put into your body to look like that. You know what I mean? Even if you were to take steroids or to take some sort of growth hormone, you still have to put in a lot of work to look like that.
But you're putting in a lot of work to change the way your body looks. You're altering what is natural about your body. Men,
but we all are like that though. All of us.
Yeah, but some men, you know, okay, my son works out like you work out. My son is not trying to get ridiculously big, but he likes the way he looks. I mean, today I was like, dude, I'm gonna put a no shirt zone thing on you because he likes to walk around with no shirt, and you know, he likes the way he looks now. But he's not ODing on it. He's not trying to look like a muscle head. I guess that's what I would call it.
Yeah.
He's juicing. I guess it's an old word to be juicing, like he's on steroids or something.
Yeah, okay, but watch this.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go to your son and ask him, when he looks in the mirror, what does he do? What does he see? He'll probably tell you that when he looks in the mirror, even though your son is big, because I've seen pictures, even though your son is big, in his mind, when he looks in the mirror, he probably sees some tall, skinny person. He
used to see a tall, fat person because he used to be chubby. Now he said that when he first started high school, and I forgot what we were talking about. And he said, "I have body dysmorphia too." No, we were watching something on Netflix. There's some Netflix show with it's about teenagers in high school and stuff like that. The challenges in high school, but he said every kid in school has body dysmorphia, and I was like, what?
We all do, to an extent.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be like altering your body. You can look at it with makeup as well. Look at how much makeup women put on. That's a form of body dysmorphia because they don't like how their face look.
Yeah.
So they put on makeup to make their face look better.
Or change their appearance altogether, because that's what men complain about. Like makeup, like putting on some powder and lipstick and eyeliner and eyeshadow, that's different. But when you're putting on these pounds of makeup that takes you almost an hour to apply because it changes your look completely, that's
a form of body dysmorphia.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That is definitely the same thing. That's crazy.
But yeah, when it comes to like the women, I think the reason why you see it so much is because for a long time, when it came to like bodybuilding and stuff like that, they didn't even really have women bodybuilders. They had bikini models. For a long time, that's what they were bikini models. They didn't want them to have muscles. They didn't want them to, quote unquote, look manly. So to combat that, a lot of women started saying, hey, look, if you're going to have these competitions, we want to do these figure competitions too.
I think that's when it becomes too much. Like, women want to do it. The guys do too, but you got to remember that a man's a man, a woman's a woman at some point. Like, I just think it's too much. Like, I think it's too much because then let me see if I don't know if I brought up that video. Let me see. And I took out the music from a lot of them because I want to get a strike. Let me show this video while I look at the other one. So this is another woman who I saw this video like about a month ago or so, and I took it down. I was like, oh my God, this is just too much. Like you saw the other lady when she was walking, if the muscles were so big, like there was nothing feminine about her. So why even bother to put on heels? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But okay, but they don't look like that. They don't look like that year round. That's when they call it peak week, right? So that's when their body fat is like 2%. That's when they got all these, chemicals in them. But when they're in their off season, they don't look that big. A lot of them will actually get thicker, like fully figured. Big thighs, big butt, small waist. But then when they start cutting, that's when they start to look muscular.
But so I thought they wouldn't lose that they would, not that the muscle, of course you have to keep building up to that to keep it looking like that, but I thought that once they stopped doing it, I didn't think, so all that muscle turns to fat?
Yes, okay. So there's a difference between being off season and then being done altogether. So when they say, like, let's say they retire, they've been, bikini models, or they've been bodybuilding competitors for like 15 years, and then it took all these chemicals. When they retire and they no longer do that, then that's when they balloon up. And it's not just them; it's like the men as well. You'll see men that look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And then they stopped working out for a year and they done lost 60, 70 pounds of muscle, and now they look frail. And you'll see women the opposite, because women have like estrogen and all that other stuff,
right?
So they balloon. And you'll see a woman that looked like she might have been competing at 150 pounds. Now she stopped altogether, and now she's up to like 210, and she looked like one of them truck stop ladies.
Wow. Even the men seem average. Well, maybe what I'm thinking about when they work out, that's the ones that actually take the enhancement drugs. Maybe that's what I'm thinking about, because that affects their whole physique and it makes them look horrible. And that's what I'm going on to my next one, because this is the one that I was like, oh my God, like, does she even regret doing it? I believe there's no music, guys, so I do apologize. I believe I took out the audio, but it's horrible. Like, this was a sad story. This is Deb Ratowski. Ratowski, yeah, Deborah Ratowski.
Yep, that's the one I was talking about. Yep. Look at her face. Look at her face. She got facial hair.
Yeah. She was slowly turning into a man. And she was so pretty. Look at that. Look at her neck. Look at her face. That's a dude. Yeah. She started off so pretty and she OD'd. And then why did she take the drugs? Look at her face. That's 93.
You have to take the drugs. You have to. When you get to that level, everybody's taking drugs. And there's a way that like they can a lot of them they take like diuretics.
Yeah.
Or stuff like that.
Get rid of the fat, yeah.
Yeah, and then if they get tested, the blood dope, and then when they test them, they don't pop positive. But yeah, once you get to that level, in order to be sponsored and to get like any kind of professional endorsements, you have to be on something.
Oh, look at that. Oh my God. That's a totally different person. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's in Portuguese too.
Look up. There's a girl now. Her name is she's from Brazil. Her name is Fafa Fitness. That's her name. Fafa Fitness. And look at how she looks. And she's like, I've never taken any drugs. I'm natural. No kind of hormones or anything like that. And then you take a look at what you see what she looks like. You're like, man, get out of here.
Because it's not natural, right?
You have a genetic cap. Everybody has a genetic cap.
Right.
To where no matter how much you eat, no matter how much you rest, no matter how much water you drink, or how much protein you take, your body is going to cap off. Meaning that it's only going to get so big, it's only going to get so strong, and it's only going to get so developed.
Right.
Steroids and all that other stuff is to break that and to get you into that next level. So that's why people take it, and that's why people abuse it. And I think in the last 5 years, 6 years, there have been like 10 famous bodybuilders that died of heart attacks because they've put so much either HGH, testosterone, tren, steroids. They've put so much of that stuff into their bodies that they just drop dead. Their heart should stop.
Oh my God, that's scary. But Sundown?
Yeah. There was he had a couple in Texas that passed away. One of them dropped dead in the gym. He was working out. He got done. He stood up and he is passed out just like that. Never woke up.
That's scary. They can.
So it's like, yeah, and when it comes to like that side of working out, it's like, what are you working out for? Because usually people exercise for like longevity, right? To be able to live longer, to be able to be mobile longer. And it's like, why do you want to take all that stuff when, each time you hold on, somebody just knocked on my door. Give me 1 second.
Guys, that looks crazy. That and I guess it's for the competition. I don't know. It just seems excessive, but I guess it's for the competition is to win. I mean, even the tanning that they do, they're real pale and they turn real dark just to define the muscles, so they can see the muscles to be judged that way. But it's crazy. All
right, I'm back. Yeah, so like anytime that you take that stuff, I used to always say, when you start injecting that stuff into you, each time you inject it is like a day off of your life that you're taking.
Reuters, I'm not trying to find the top ones. I just want to highlight the ones that to me seems like they're overdoing it, or they destroyed their bodies doing that. I'm not taking you through that type of a timeline. These are the videos I downloaded already, so I don't want to start killing myself looking for the other videos. But I'm glad that you're very well versed on that, Roy Chess, because you're mentioning some names I didn't know about. You know, they use fake tans and oils. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I did this woman. This one, I think this is what got me to want to start. To get to where I'm at today with regards to how the women looked at our bodybuilding, because I don't know, I didn't like it. But let me show you this one. Now,
oh yeah,
that's a bit that I don't know. I think I have another one. That one I don't know if I cut it short or what, but there was another one that I was like, oh my god, I was trying to figure out, is it a man or is it a woman in a dress? Like, because of the way things are going today, it's like you don't
never know.
You don't know, and that's what's getting so confusing. I'm like, dang, And she said trans. That's what I'm saying. Like, so you don't know what you're looking at anymore. You don't know what you're looking at anymore. I'm sorry, you don't know. The women at the top make the ones you show look small. Really? I have more though, Roy Chess. I just wanted to highlight those, but I do actually have more. Her name is Denise Rotowski. But let me go to now the BBLs, right? Let me see if I kept that one. No, I thought I brought it up. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring her up because the
BBLs, that's another topic in itself.
Yeah, but it's like, come on. Let me see.
I think a lot of that has to deal with people not being able to tell them, hey, you need to stop, because it's some people that's getting out of hand. Like there's this one model. She used to be like 300 something pounds. I think she's from Panama.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to be like 300 pounds, and she got all of that sucked out of her top and put into her thighs. So now she walks around, and it looks like she has a condition, but people think that it looks good, and it's like, man, how do you think that looks good? Like that doesn't look normal. I'll show you. I'll put her in the background.
I don't get it. Okay. Why can't I find this woman now? I got all the bodybuilders, and I'm looking at. Maybe it's here. Because the BBL thing is getting ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I can't believe I can't find this woman. I had her here before. Hold on. And I called it a deformed derriere. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. Here's one, and this one, and I think this lady tried to say, I think she's Colombian, I'm not sure. She tried to say that this is natural, and I'm like, there's no way in hell that anybody's born that way with that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, that's her. That's the one I'm talking about.
But that's not in her thighs. That's in her ass.
Yeah, no, that's in her legs too. Her name is Gracie Bond. I was literally. Hold on.
You was looking for that?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. That looks disgusting.
Oh man, it's telling me to log in. Never mind. But that's who I was trying to show you. Her name is Gracie Bond. She's from Panama.
Okay, I thought she was Colombian. Maybe something.
She's she used to be like 300 something pounds, and she got all of that sucked out of her arms, her stomach, and she got it all put in her butt. So now she's walking around looking like that, and people can't be like, hey, you know, you're doing too much, you need to stop. Nobody is telling her that.
It looks disgusting. Where's the other one? I even celebrities. Okay, this is another one too, and she looks disgusting too. Like, it's just come on, you got to think about wiping your ass. You got to think about the maintenance on that. Like, it's not like you just get the surgery and that's that. Like, I'm gonna read up a little bit. Like, come on now. That looks horrible. That looks horrible. Sundown, do you like an ass that big? I mean, I know men like ass. Are you still there, Sundown? All right, I'll wait till you come back.
Okay, no, that's too much.
That's disgusting. So, what is a BBL?
What could you even do with that? What could a man even do with that?
Don't forget the man. Forget them, because I believe women do it for men, but to entice them. But forget that. Like, the clothes, you have to spend. You have to tailor your clothes. When you wash your ass, you need like a hose type thing. Like, when you take a shit, you need you need special things for. I mean, you just can't do nothing anymore. You won't even fit in a toilet with an ass that big.
Just how when it's that big. Think about it. How do you even, use the bathroom properly?
Look, they said, and this is without even getting to the bathroom part. It says, "What does a BBL smell like?" It says So you might be wondering, what exactly does a BBL smell like? Well, it's not exactly a bouquet of roses, but it's also not going to knock you over. But here's the breakdown. The characteristics of the smell is musty. So think of a slightly damp towel that's been hanging in your gym bag for a little bit too long. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
A musty, damp towel that's been in your gym bag for too long. That's nasty. So
think about that.
What it smells like. Like, oh, go ahead.
When their butts are that big, think about it. When a woman's butt is that big and they're wearing clothes, their butts don't sweat like normal. You know what I mean? Because
exactly.
Part of the reason why women don't smell down there is because when they're walking, you got air coming through,
mm-hmm.
and it's kind of flushing out that smell. So when you got that giant BBL, that's like sandwiched. Your butt is sandwiched, so it can't breathe properly. That's why you be seeing them chicks. They be having like back in the day, they would have them like dark streaks.
Yeah.
In the middle of their butts because it doesn't breathe properly. That's what kind of turned me off on the BBLs when I was younger, because you would see like girls with BBLs and then they wouldn't have anything on and their butts would have these streaks from just where the sweat constantly pulls at. And it would change, the discoloration would come.
Yes.
And plus, most BBLs only look good in clothes. When you take them off,
but not that big, Sundown. Like, it's like everything in moderation, right? So you want a nice, voluptuous derriere. Look, I knew that would bring third ward. I was thinking about you when I put the little bit of that of those videos there. But you want a woman with a nice round butt. However you want it, right? But you don't want it so big that, Oh, I even know a dude that told me that, when he was hitting it from the back, like, he was able to smell her ass. Like, I was like, what? Like, he was able to smell the funk. That's embarrassing. Like, that's that. I don't know. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. Third, you silly. Oh man. Have a good night, Bermuda Breeze. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh man, I got more.
My mom said them girls that be having them big old butts like that when they spread their cheeks, it probably sound like when you have like a peanut butter sandwich and you separate the two sandwiches and you hear the peanut butter make that noise.
Yuck. Yeah. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. You're right, Blood Moon. These videos are short. I don't know what happened this week, but the videos are short. Like this lady. Can I show this picture? I think I have this one already. I think she's still a little too big, but not so much that men would feel some sort of way about it. I think you guys would still like this. This is still kind of big, but not that bad. Oh, let me take Third's comment out the way so you can see it. Like, to me, this is still big, but it's not that bad. So she got the surgery, but she didn't OD on it, but it's still kind of huge because look at her legs. Right? It doesn't matter.
Like,
you breaking up.
Look at her legs. No, I said, to me, that's not very attractive because look at her legs. Look at her butt to leg ratio.
Because she's not proportioned properly because of that. Yeah. She's definitely not proportioned right. Really? You crazy. Half a bottle of tequila, I would have been passed out right now. It's a bit much. You know who looks really bad? You know who Kiki Wyatt is? Because everybody and anybody's getting it. Like Madonna got hers, and Madonna's looks disgusting. And this singer got hers, and I'm like, I don't know why she did it. Let me see if I can find her. It looks really, really, really bad. And wait a minute, before I get to that, because they were saying, the long-term effects of having a BBL. After 5 years, it's common for the BBL results to undergo potential changes due to natural aging and your weight fluctuation. And the settling of the transferred fat. That sounds nasty. The settling of the transferred fat. So to maintain the best long-term outcomes, it's essential to follow up with a healthy lifestyle, including regular exercise and a balanced diet. Fat grafting to the buttocks is the modern-day Brazilian butt lift and gain more white. This started in the 80s. But so they say that you have to have a balanced diet and work out. And a lot of women don't do that. They just think that they get the surgery and that's it. They don't bother to continue. Like, huh? What happened?
I said, gravity. I said gravity. So
the
like,
only one.
Okay, let's say if I alter something, right? I'll alter something later. If it's not natural, then it's going to play against me. So it'd be tight at first, and it might look good at first. As time goes on, it'll start to sag. It'll start sagging, and then it'll look completely different than how it was in the beginning. And this was with BBLs. BBL is huge, but in the beginning, since the skin is tight, holds it away, but it's not an area in the what do they call it?
Man, I lost you there at the last part. I lost you in the last part. I didn't hear what you said. Hold on.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yep, much better.
Okay, I said gravity plays a part in that because the skin is tight, so it holds everything in place in the beginning. But as time goes on, you constantly sitting down, you standing up, you laying down, you getting up, you getting on the toilet, you walking. All that plays against gravity, and then that's when that side like diaper look at the end.
Yes.
Because the fat is starting to fall now.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, let me show you this rapper first. I think this is what's her name? Iggy Azalea. No. You guys tell me when you see her. I guess I forgot her name. Hold on a second. This is the one that T.I. founded. This woman. The Australian rapper.
Iggy Azalea?
Iggy Azalea. No, that's how you say her name? Okay, I was right. Hold on one second. I hope there's audio to this one. I don't remember. Hold on. it threw her hips off and all that. Like it just, I don't know. Hers doesn't look right either.
Yeah, and
It
then
looks-
look at her upper body.
Yeah, it just doesn't match.
Yeah, it doesn't match at all.
I don't think I have Madonna's no more, but I think I loaded that up on YouTube, but it looked nasty.
Did you see that video? It's like a picture of Nicki Minaj, where Nicki Minaj, she's sitting on a chair and she's raising her leg up.
Yeah.
And you can see
Oh man, it's bad. And Kiki Wyatt looks worse. Hold on, let me play her. I think I took the music out of this one. Yeah, I did. She didn't even lose her weight. Look. When I saw her, I said, Kiki need to stop. She loves her big ass. It just looks horrible. It looks
But
horrible.
you can see, look at her legs. You can see her legs in the in the dress. Look at how small her legs are. Like that's the thing that people don't understand. The BBL, the reason why a lot of men don't like BBLs is not because of the fact that they got, implants in their butts. It's just the thighs don't match the legs, and it looks disgusting, like especially when they don't have clothes on.
Yeah.
So when they don't have clothes, and then you actually get to see what their body looks like with it, it's nasty.
But these women are the ones that got OnlyFans. These women are the ones that men pay to see them. So it's still a win-win for them. Like,
it's a certain type of guy that's attracted to that.
but it seems like it's a lot of guys because it keeps these women making money.
Yeah. And like that's why I don't blame OnlyFans. A lot of people blame the women. Andrew Tate and all those other guys. They'll be like, "Oh, well, that's it." Don't blame them. Blame the men, because men are the biggest consumers of that.
Yeah, if there wasn't a market for it, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
They would.
So I can't look down on that girl because she's making X amount of money a month for doing these videos. Blame the guy. The guy is the one that. No. I said, hold on, Blood Moon. I said I like a woman with a big butt. I didn't say I like a woman with a BBL. There's a difference.
He wants all natural.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Okay, so since it seems like I didn't bring enough material for the BBL, even though, it's illegal in the UK.
BBLs?
Yeah, because that's the number one. Let me see. I think they said that's the number one death in plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Because a lot of these people go to like Colombia, or they'll go to these back road doctors that do it because they want it to be cheap.
Yep. They said it's high risk because the fat can travel via the bloodstream to your heart and lungs, and death from such a pulmonary fat embolism can occur within hours of the procedure or even on the operating table.
Yeah.
Yep. And the UK banned it in 2019. Yeah, that's crazy. It's the highest of all cosmetic procedures. It's the highest.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It overtook implants, because remember, breast implants were like the number one thing for a long time.
But I don't think anybody was really dying from it, right?
You had some cases of people dying, whether it be like the silicone rupturing, stuff like that, but not as bad as BBLs, because the BBLs are like everybody. Because at one point in time, you got people that were, breast men. Then you had some people that weren't breast men.
Right.
And you had like competitors, like bodybuilding competitors and bikini competitors that would get breast implants, so that way it would help give that image when they would have the little bikini top on. But now, like in music, especially like hip hop, they always talk about a woman with a big butt.
Yep.
Like the most famous line, I think, top 5 famous one-liners in hip hop is Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Enough that Kim Kardashian did it. Like she was one of the white girls that started doing it. Yeah. And hers looked disgusting. She made that awful type shaped ass like what women aspire to get, and that's like it's not even natural. It's not natural.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know. I didn't like it. What? I can't open it. No. Okay, hold on. It's too long.
But at one point in time, I thought it was Brazil. Like Brazil was the number one place at one point in time. Now it's DR, right? No, it was Brazil. Then it was Colombia. Now it's DR.
Yeah, because it's
where everybody's going.
Cheaper wherever. No, and you know where they're going? I think Turkey. I think Turkey is even cheaper. I think it's Turkey they're going to now.
Yeah.
I think it's Turkey.
Off the subject, because I know we talk about BBLs, but you know, Turkey is the number one place where a lot of men go to get their little hair transplants.
No way, yeah?
Yeah. So like if dudes are balding, they'll go to Turkey and they'll take the hair from like other areas.
No way.
And put it in those balding spots. Yeah.
Okay. So there's a place for men to okay. Let's see. It doesn't can't be found. No way. Okay, hold on a second, because I wanted to talk about this, and I haven't heard anybody really talking about it, so I don't know if hold on. This is on another subject. This is gonna be has nothing to do with, let me see, hold on a second.
But yeah, to summarize what you were saying about the whole body dysmorphia, I think we all have some sort of body dysmorphia. All of us do. Because no matter what we do, we're never going to be good enough when we look in the mirror. So like for a woman might be like, oh, I want to lose, some inches around my waist. Then she loses the inches around her waist, and it's, oh, I want to get my butt a little bit bigger. Oh, I want to get my legs a little bit thicker. Guys will always be like, well, I need to get my arms bigger. I need to get my legs bigger. I need to get my chest bigger. And no matter how big they get, they're always going to see that they need to get a little bigger in some sense.
But wanting to look better and ODing on it, like that, to me, that's two different things. Like,
yeah.
You can want to like I'll say, you know what, I think I can use a little bit more plump in the back, right? So I'll get a BBL, not nothing exaggerated, just to round it out, right? That's fine. If I want bigger boobs, I can get bigger boobs. You like what do they call that? The mommy lift? Is that when they do everything?
Yeah.
Your breasts, like something like that, just to make you look good, but not nothing exaggerated. Like even like the people who do their lips and do their face and they start looking like animals, like a lion. What was that lion lady, the Jewish lady? That I think she was the one that started it off. I think Blood Moon knows what I'm talking about. Her shit looked so bad.
You also got to look at this though, Morena. So, or TT, I'm sorry.
Morena's
you also
good.
got to look at it like this. No, you got to look at it like this too. The reason why it's so bad today is because that's women's moneymaker, right? So OnlyFans is like the number one source of income for a lot of social media personalities, especially women, right? So look at who they're competing against. They're competing against other women. So they will have to start off by maybe getting their breasts done. Okay, that popped their popularity up 2%, 3%. Now this other girl came in, she's younger and she has bigger breasts and she has a big butt. So now she has to go get surgery to get her butt bigger to be in competition to still make money. So I think that's where the the overdoing it aspect comes in, because they're competing for money. If I just stay here, if I just stay at this level, I won't make as much money. So now I got to keep getting the surgery. Now I got to keep getting the surgery. And what ends up happening is they suck up all their fat. So now they don't have any more fat for them to really transfer. So then that's when it starts getting dangerous, because now they got to start getting silicone. Then they got to start doing other means. But they all look alike. Like all the social media girls, they all look the same.
Yep, same complexion, same lips, same hair, same everything. Yeah,
they all look the same.
But the
and
men
they all look like men.
Because the makeup they're using is like, and please excuse me, it's tranny makeup. The body, the butts, that's the surgery that they get. If you look at most trans men, when they get their surgeries done, when they get their enhancements, that's what they look like.
Yeah. Well, I heard that's where BBLs originally came from. It was a way to make the trannies more attractive to the competition that they were, because they're in, like, trans are in competition with women.
Yep.
And they like the men. So they go and get these surgeries done to make the men look at them. But that's where BBLs originally came from. It was a tranny thing to make the trannies more attractive. And then women started running with it, and now,
That's crazy. That's effing crazy.
Yeah.
That's effing crazy. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put up another video. Well, let me play this one first, because I can't find the one that came behind that one. Now, this is, I think she's a social media influencer who lost her job for dropping the M-bomb. Did you hear about that?
Recently?
Yeah, I believe it was recently. And she lost her job over it and everything, too. Okay, hold on. Let me play that video. Almost hit end stream. Hold on one second. I did that the last time. Okay, hold on.
Gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke-ass n***s. So a recent video of mine seems to have upset members of a certain community, and all the backlash just really made me, just really do a deep dive, like do a soul search. And after all that, I still couldn't find a care.
So did she drop the hard R, or did she just say like the slang?
The slang.
Oh, okay.
The slang. But, people were offended. And, I'm just like, you gotta.
I think both words shouldn't be used personally.
It shouldn't at all. But at some point, since everybody's using it, you can't get upset at everybody using it.
You can't pick and choose who says it and who can't.
Exactly. And people are doing that. So it's like, she got fired from her job.
Yeah.
They let her go. Now, she's using a phrase that's popularly used in the culture, in the hood. Broke ass nigga. A lot of people say that, but she can't say it. So I don't know.
So let me ask you this question: When white people listen to rap,
I didn't hear you. I don't hear you. Oh, you're on mute, Sundell.
No, I just muted and
okay.
Hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, I said when white people listen to rap in the comfort of their own homes, right?
Oh,
when the N-word comes up, do you think that they pause?
No, they do not. They do not. They know where to swear.
They might pause in public. Because you see rap, like you'll see people, like white people, they'll be saying a line word or a rhyme word for word, and then when the N word comes up, they'll pause. They don't be doing that in their home. When they at home, they probably be saying that just like everybody else.
Yep. Yep. And I think they want to say it. You loved her response. Well, there's more, Blood Moon.
You shouldn't.
Blood Moon said, I always pause. Pause. She always pauses. I mean,
Blood Moon, you listen to rap
in a popular way. It's like how white women say, "Girl," girl. You know how they start. I hate when I hear them say that too. But they do it. But that's because that's the popular way of speaking now, and that's the what I'm saying, like, and that's part of the culture. That's just how people speak now. So you can't. It's like you can't get upset because they're using it. It's not necessarily to add that to a song. Well, it's not necessary, but they do. They do, and I told Blood Moon that's worldwide because Blood Moon was like, people shouldn't be using it. There's people in the ghetto, but I'm like, they listen to hip hop everywhere. It's worldwide. So if they
they listen everywhere.
Where they're dropping the N word everywhere. Japan and
especially in Europe. In Europe,
yes.
Europe is different.
Yep.
Europe is different. They don't have that whole like sensing session. Like they love hip hop out here. Like in Germany, like German people love Wu-Tang Clan. Like for some reason, German people love Wu-Tang Clan.
I know
Just
why.
like in Poland. Yeah, in Poland they love Tupac.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you not really gonna see them pausing when they saying their line. Like they say that the whole phrase. They don't blot stuff out or they don't pause when the word come up.
And you see, Sundown, you don't like the word, right? But if you're in Poland, they're not saying it. They're singing a song that they're going along with a song that they really, really like and they feel passionate about. So
yeah,
and they'll even repeat it the way they heard it.
Yeah, and it's nothing ill like when they do it.
Right. That's how I feel. Hey, Don Armando. Good morning. Que lo que. But
I think that word should not be used at all.
I think so, but that means I gotta take it out of the music because then you gotta take it out of the music because that's where it started. That's where it started getting bad when they started putting it in the music because it wasn't being used like that. Okay, hold on. Let me play. This was her response, and I don't know if this was her father or maybe it was her father. I think you're going to hear the same response, but then you're going to hear another man have a response to that too. And this one threw me back a little bit.
Or like certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke ass niggas. And they don't care. We don't give a fuck about your money. I couldn't care less about your fucking money, okay? My type is broke mechanics and surfer hippie dudes who just want to live in a shack and surf and have babies. All I ask of a man is that you're competent, you're not a pussy. If somebody broke into our house at 3 a.m., you would know how to.
Okay, that was the wrong video. There is a man who's in her video who said something that I was just like, he really said that? Okay, hold on. That was the whole video that got her fired. Okay, hold on.
He said, "Oh, you fucking cave beast," like that.
No, he went overboard to me. Why can't I find it? Hold on, let me see. Hold on one.
Gold diggers?
Second.
I still couldn't find it.
Maybe I didn't upload it. Oh, Fangula. Maybe I didn't upload it. Okay, Sundown. I don't think I did. Or if I did, I put it somewhere I can't find it.
Yeah, but no, I get the general consensus of what's going on.
Well, the gentleman that was in her other video, damn it, I want to play it. Let me look one more time. But did you hear about there's Americans that are going to Turks and Caicos and they're being stopped at the airport because they're finding like, you know, artillery, is that what you call it when you have bullets and stuff like that?
Nah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, how does that happen? Like, how do you not know that you have that in your bag?
Yeah, nah. Nah, there's no way. Unless it's being planted on you. Yeah, unless it's being planted on you, you can't. There's no way. Just like when Nicki Minaj got stopped for having that, she supposedly has some drugs on her or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that you can go to an airport and have something that is considered. Now, okay, certain airports, they do have an exception to policy. So like, let's say I got a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I have that weapon like disassembled and I have it in a completely different case, I can go up there and I could say, hey, by the way, this is my regular luggage, but this is a weapon. It's disassembled. It's in its own case. It's locked. You can't get to it. I have the key. Then certain airports will let you, they'll look at it, make sure that there's nothing like no potential threat there. And then they'll have it confiscated and have it sent in a separate way.
It was in their carry-on. I think that was the problem. I think every last
one.
Yeah,
you can't put a weapon in carry-on.
And let me see. The last person was this woman who went there for Mother's Day. Let me just make sure I got it.
But yeah, you have to have a special case.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be taken apart.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to notify them ahead of time. Hey, I have a weapon that I'm bringing back with me. This is what it is. This is the caliber. This is the case that it's in. This is the paperwork for it. Then customs will take it. They'll look at it. They'll lock it back up, and then they'll send it. But I can't walk in there and be like, yo, I got a gun right here on my waist and it's loaded. You're going to get killed then.
It wasn't Sundown, and the mother claimed that she didn't know that was in there like that. Oh, this is the guy. I found it. I freaking found it. Okay. Let me upload this. But she claimed that she didn't know. How did you not know that was in your that was in your bag? How are you not going to know, Sundown? You hear me?
I have no idea. Like, that's crazy because with, just with flight restrictions.
Yep.
Like, there's no way that you could go to an airport with a weapon not secured and say, oh, I didn't know that I had this on me. I wouldn't buy it either if I was TSA.
Exactly.
And the reason why I wouldn't buy it is because, like I said, there is a rule or there is a method to bringing a weapon. You can bring a weapon with you. You just have to follow the protocols.
But wouldn't that fall for like people in the service like you, officers, FBI, CIA, stuff like that? That's not just regular people. And she was like a regular person. She wasn't a cop.
Yeah. CIA, FBI, all that stuff. Like, if they have like orders,
they know the protocol.
Yeah, right? Like marshals, like the marshals that fly on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They have the paperwork that shows that they can have this weapon on them. But yeah, like I said, if you're going, like if I'm leaving New York and I'm going to, I don't know, Texas, I can bring a weapon with me. It just has to be secured. And I have to notify them ahead of time, and I have to have the paperwork with me. I can't have it with my other luggage. I can't have it with my carry-on. It has to be in a special case.
But the reason why they say that they were set up is because TSA let them enter the country. You got to go through TSA first, before you go to that overseas. So TSA didn't find it. They found it on their way back. So they didn't get stuck here stateside. They got stuck overseas, and their laws are different.
Yeah, I don't buy that. There's no way TSA could let a weapon go through customs without noticing it.
And that's what they're saying. And that lady, she said they took away her lotion and something else, but they didn't take away that. And this happened to 5 different Americans. 5 different Americans in the same country. Bringing a gun to the airport is federal. Shit, I don't know, but I'm just
Yes,
like,
that is a federal crime. Yes.
They said it was bullets. It wasn't even like the gun. It was bullets. So I'm just like, how do you not know that you have that in your bag? Like, if I know I took this bag here and I know what I had in it, and I know I'm going overseas, I'm gonna use the same bag. I'm gonna make sure I don't got shit in there. You know, that's the last place you want to get stopped or anything like that. But they're trying to blame TSA, saying how did TSA not? I gotta get that news story, but how did TSA not see that before they even boarded the plane, so that they didn't have that issue on their way back? So they're trying to blame TSA for that. What
they would have to do is they would have to pull up like the camera footage of them when the time that they entered the airport, the time that they went through customs, the time that they went through like the the screening, all of that stuff, and they can track them that way, and they can see if TSA really dropped the ball. Because if TSA dropped the ball and let them, I don't understand how they would even be able to pass, because like if you have ordnance, it will set off an alarm.
Exactly.
When it goes through.
And that's carry on. It wasn't like it went
to
it's carry on, yep. And there's one man who's gonna and the minimum is 12 years, and she has to stay there till she goes to court. There's one man who's currently serving time that I think he's from Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is trying to plead with the government to get him out. I'm going to look for that article, but I'm going to play this one. You're going to hear that girl Lily again, but I wanted you to hear the gentleman that comes on after her. That's the one I was looking for, so I'm going to play that one now.
So a recent video of mine seems to have upset members of a certain community, and all the backlash just really made me, just really do a deep dive, like do a soul search. And after all that, I still couldn't find a care.
You're going to call us racist? You're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs? Fuck you. War.
So there it is, right? Hey, Trooper69, thank you for stopping by.
Okay, I'm lost. What was he talking about?
He's saying like, I don't know if he meant like race war or something, like, like he doesn't give a shit. Like they can say what they want to say. They're protected by the First Amendment.
Okay, I didn't hear a single thing that you said because you went out for like 10 seconds.
Okay, let me play the video again. Bring it on. How fun. Let me play it again. Hold on one second. So you didn't hear it, really?
No, I heard the video, but then when I said I didn't understand where he was going with that, and then you said something and I didn't hear a single thing.
He said war about free speech.
Oh.
So, I mean, I felt like he was being extreme. I felt like because I feel like sometimes people are itching to go to war, and I hear it here in Texas. It's like, like we're ready. If anything ever happens, you know what I'm saying? Like they're ready.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes I think that they're starting to put this out there more now. They're numbing the people who supposedly shouldn't be using it, and the people who get offended from it are going to push it to a point where it's going to end up being something. It's going to end up bringing about something. Really
yeah,
I think it's going to go that route. So
yeah,
when you hear people like that talk about it, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just crazy. What happened to? This is what happened when we say some shit. They run to the right wing media, huh? Yeah, but they're back. They're backed by it. Irby, they're backed by it.
Mm-hmm.
They're backed by it. Her daddy is rich. That's why she doesn't care. She lost her job, and they're gonna fight for their freedom of speech. Yep, I'm with them. They're gonna win because of that. And then what's gonna happen is, then you're gonna get those people saying it all over the place. They're just gonna use it to death, and ain't gonna be shit you can do about it. Ain't that something? They're gonna be using it. And now they're gonna say we're protected and then the freedom of speech.
Yeah, but the thing about that is freedom of speech is never, just because you have freedom of speech, it doesn't mean that you're free from freedom of consequence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequence. So, yes.
They don't put no consequences on that, so people wouldn't be so compelled to use the word, you know.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like people always throw up I have the God-given right for free speech. Yes, but even if you want to go and say, you know how like people will be like, well, in the Bible it says that we have free speech. God gave us free speech. Yeah, but that same person also said you're going to be held accountable for every single word that you speak.
Yep.
So it's like I can get on here and I can say all the stuff that I want to say, and that's cool because I have the right to say that. But once I start getting in trouble, and once people start trying to sue me, and once people start trying to disassociate themselves with me, and I start losing sponsors, and my job says that they don't want anything to do with me, that's the consequence for me saying what I said.
Yeah. Yep. Well, let's see how that goes. You're breaking up.
I am?
Yeah. You have your Bluetooth on or something?
The area that I'm at has a bad signal. So like my signal isn't really strong here.
Oh, okay.
So, but what I was saying was, I have freedom of speech. Yes, I can get on here. I can say whatever it is that I want to say that's on my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But once those consequences come and I have to deal with the repercussions of that, then that's a part of it too. Freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequence. You say whatever it is that you want to say, you have your God-given right to say it. But when people start disassociating themselves with you, or if you have sponsors and they say they no longer want to, sponsor you, and your job says we want to part ways with you because your views aren't our views, then that's what comes with that freedom of speech.
True. All right, this is the video with the Turks and Caicos incident.
Florida mother pleading to be released from Turks and Caicos after facing charges for rounds of ammunition authorities say they found in her carry-on bag. Sharita Greer is just the latest American to be detained on the islands. All 5 now facing a possible 12-year prison sentence. And the warning now from the U.S. State Department: check your luggage. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Tonight, a Florida mom describing the moment she became the 5th American tourist detained in Turks and Caicos after authorities say they found illegal ammunition in her luggage.
I didn't know what was going to happen because I couldn't believe they was in there.
45-year-old Sharita Greer speaking with ABC affiliate WFTV via FaceTime. She's now charged with ammunition possession and facing a minimum 12-year prison sentence. Greer, a registered gun owner, says she and her daughter went through what was supposed to be a routine luggage search at Howard Hamilton Airport ahead of their return flight to Orlando.
They found 2 rounds in the bottom of my duffel bag carry-on.
Greer's daughter immediately released, but Sharita spending a week in jail before posting a $15,000 bail on Friday. Greer must remain on Turks and Caicos and check in with police weekly until her July court date. 2 years ago, Turks and Caicos hardened their gun laws following a wave of gun violence and weapons trafficking, banning civilians from carrying guns and ammunition and imposing harsher punishment. 5 American tourists have been arrested since February, when a ruling by the Court of Appeals required some amount of prison time. Tonight, the governors of Oklahoma, Virginia, and Pennsylvania asking Turks and Caicos to reconsider the charges against their residents and expedite the release back to their respective states and families as soon as possible. The former prime minister tonight defending what some have described as harsh punishment for these types of violations. In a local newspaper, she points out that the country has experienced violent crime before and that deciding what is just is not always easy. Whit.
Morgan Norwood, our thanks to you tonight.
You see, so you think that's a setup, or because like Don said, it was a setup. Like, how can it be 5? How can she have had that in her bag, and a duffel bag, and not know it was in there?
So that's 2 set of eyes. Her and her daughter said that they went through the bag, and then they missed it. So it could be a case of not looking through everything, or it could be a case of
wouldn't that be
somebody putting
noticeable?
something.
I don't think you would miss that.
I don't think you would miss that either, because like, you know, when you go to the airport, you already know off the top that you have what is it, a liquid, a limit to however many liquids ounces of liquids that you can bring. You have a beforehand that you can't bring any sharp objects, no knives, no razors, no box cutters. Like, all that stuff is ingrained. And like I said, when it comes to ammunition, you can bring it. You just have to notify them ahead of time and have it secured and separate from the other luggage, because they have this. Like I said, they send it in a different way. So if you have all of that, then you should be good. I just don't understand how a person would have two rounds in their bag
and not notice it.
And get to they got there. So how did they get there with that?
TSA. That's why they're trying to blame TSA.
Yeah. So like I said, what will have to happen is they will have to pull up the camera. They will tell them the time that they got there. They will have to pull up the cameras, watch them when they get in, watch them when they go through TSA, watch what happens at TSA, and then they can go from there.
That was my question, Don. How can 5 Americans be facing the same charge? I don't think her lawyers will work. I mean, depending on what the country doesn't follow our laws, Irby, so I don't think it matters. Or are they doing it so Americans can pay that $15K? Could be. Could be. Unless it's a weapons smuggling ring, but 5 Americans in a year. Yeah, that is a setup, because once one gets caught, they're not going to try to do it the same way, right, Don? Like,
yeah, true.
If that is part of it, they're not going to. Okay, so we know we can't go to the airport now because they caught such and such. So we're not going to try to bring it in the country that way. They might try to bring it in by boat, or, I don't know.
Yeah, but I've heard that there are some countries like, say, Colombia and Mexico. When they see Americans, they'll pull them over and take money off of them. So I wouldn't put it past them, but I just say that it's crazy that you also got to ask, how many airports did they go to? You know what I mean? Like, did they fly from where they were at straight to Turks and Caicos? Did they have a layover? Did they have to go to another airport? How many airports did they?
The mother, she went through Florida, so that's a direct flight. That's not even
okay, that's a direct flight. Okay.
Yeah, and that happened. And that's why they're trying to blame TSA. They was like, well, how did she leave the country with it? And how did she not know? On top of her not knowing, how did TSA didn't throw off a flag? They took something else away from her, but they didn't see that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because like, if let's say, most places you might fly from Atlanta and then you'll land in Virginia and then you'll fly to whatever the destination is. So you could land at multiple airports. So okay, because I was gonna say, man, if she flew from one airport to another airport and she passed through TSA multiple times, and yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but still, just having it on your carry-on and not realizing that, I think that.
Yeah, I don't think that a sensible. Yeah, I don't think a sensible gun owner, because they said that she was a gun owner. I don't think a sensible gun owner would be that reckless.
True.
Because you know that you have weapons, so you know that there's a possibility that there could be some ammunition somewhere. So you check thoroughly.
That's what I'm saying. She got to know the last time she went somewhere, what she had in her bag, and she have to make sure if you didn't take it out, then you got to make sure you got to find out where that is. You know, like I don't know. And this is a duffel bag. How big? I mean, how can you not see it? I just said bullets. I thought it was less than that. It's not even like it's. Nah, man. I don't know how she didn't. I don't know how she didn't see it.
Yeah. So yeah, if there's 5 Americans, either those 5 Americans were in it together, and they were picking them off one-on-one, one by one, or yeah, they trying to get some money. Because if you think about it, if it's 5 Americans and they each pay $15,000, that's $60,000 right there.
Yeah. Oh, sundown. What time is it? I think I'm pushing it to 3 o'clock. I want to show one last video, and this is about a neighbor who's tired of a person who's tired of the neighbor's dog taking a shit at their house, like on their lawn.
Did he kill him?
Wait till you see this. I can see myself getting upset, but not. I think I would have went about it differently. But let me show you this one.
Throw it.
You're like, throw it.
Yo, I'm not touching no animal shit.
I'm just like, he's like, like,
yeah, I'm not doing that.
He's barfing and shit. I'm like, dude, like that's an extreme. No, I would have called somebody and they would have took his fucking dog away. That's what I would have done.
Or at the most, he could have shoveled it all up, put it in a bag, and then just dumped it on the person's like front door and ran. I'm not grabbing, like, that's disgusting.
Yep, that's what I would have done.
That's
what he's like. I got more funny videos, but I don't know. Maybe I should put on a. I always want to do a cultural stuff, but I want to throw some funny videos in there too. Every day I'm looking at videos and downloading stuff. So
yeah. But when are you gonna go live again?
Maybe next week. I don't know. If I go on next week, that'll be the 4th time, right? This is the 3rd time. Yeah, it'll be the 4th time. So I'm not sure. Maybe next week again. And if you have any ideas about what you want me to talk about, let me know, because I think I have 2 more ideas of something to talk about. But yeah, because Diddy's like getting like, man, I don't even think he's going to jail now. They're not even talking about him no more.
Notice how quick they swept that shit under the rug.
Yeah, they're not even talking.
They were talking about Diddy for like 1 week, and then now nobody's.
Yeah, I haven't heard
bringing it up.
Nothing new in the past 5 days. Nothing on him in that case. So that's and I listened to the psychic. I know Blum was going to say she don't believe her, but she said he's not going to jail. He's not going to be able to talk, but he's not going to jail. So, and it looks like he's not going to go to jail.
Yeah, I think he lost some sponsors. That's it.
Yeah, he's going to lose money, but he's not going to jail. And he's going to lose his reputation. So I don't think he's going to be able to be the mogul that he was. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, I don't know if he's been smart with his money and he can live off of whatever he has, but I don't think he's going to be able to, you know.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Gene Deal?
Yep. I watch him all the time. Jaguar, right? I watch all those people.
Yeah. So Gene Deal was saying all this stuff years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And people were like, oh man, Gene Deal sound like a hater. He sound like somebody that's disgruntled. And everything that he said has been coming to light. Every single thing that he said.
Yeah.
Like from his involvement to saying that he would pay the people to kill Tupac, to them saying that he knew beforehand that Tupac was gonna get robbed back in '94 when he went to that studio. Like, it really makes you think about him as a person, because a lot of people have said that Diddy was a snake.
But you know,
a lot of people
too. They're saying that he's an informant or he works for the FBI, something like that. That's why he's not going to get locked up, and that's why he was able to get away with so much.
Yeah, and they said that the one thing that Gene Deal said, and I'm like, you know what? I've always said that, even at when I was younger, was okay. What happened to Tupac? That happened to Tupac.
Right.
Tupac jumped on some dude that was a like reputed killer in
Mhm.
Compton. That
Mhm.
guy that they jumped on in that hotel
Mm-hmm.
was like a legitimate killer.
Yeah, but they're saying that was all set up. That was how everything went down. Supposedly
Yes.
it was set up. Yeah.
Yes,
Supposedly,
but
so.
that happened to Tupac. Tupac jumped into something that was a ongoing thing in Compton, right? So take Tupac out of that.
This it
However,
was a dude that took his chain. It was somebody.
yeah. So the guy that they jumped on supposedly took somebody's chain from that camp.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who got his chain took was there. And he said, hey, that's the guy that took my chain. And
Mhm.
everybody ran over there and jumped on him.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is Puffy dropped the ball with Biggie 2 times.
Right.
And that was the first time was when Tupac got shot and they released that song, Who Shot You?
Mm-hmm.
They should have never released that song then. Because Tupac was saying that they set him up. These people knew I was going to get robbed. They knew I was going to get shot. And then Puffy tells Biggie to drop Who Shot You? That's the first mistake. Then when Tupac got killed, they should have never took Biggie to California.
Yeah, but that was intentional. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
It was all intentional.
They're saying that they said that Puffy had all of Biggie's royalties, and he saw what happened when Tupac died. Tupac blew up times 10 when he got killed,
Mm-hmm.
and Puffy knew that if something was to happen to Biggie, he has all his royalties. So if he blow up times 10, all that money is gonna go to Puffy. So he put him in a dangerous situation, knowing what could have happened when he went out there. And he brought him out there, and he got killed that weekend.
I believe it.
Yep.
I always thought Puffy had something to do with both their deaths. I always thought he had something to do with it. And I always knew that he was doing something to Cassie. I just didn't know the extent of it, because every time I used to see her, I just saw sadness in her eyes. I was like, she doesn't look happy. Her or Kim Porter. So,
yeah.
But I think they're gonna exhume her body. I hope they do that. Maybe he'll go to jail for that if they do that.
Can they like exhume her body and find any evidence?
If they have probable cause, they can. If they think that he, but they have to really think that he had something to do with it. So I don't know what would compel them. What could somebody say to them to make them say, you know what, we have to exhume her body to make sure that he didn't do something weird, like. Because so far now,
I always thought that there was a time limit. Like if a person's been dead for a couple of years, it becomes more difficult to.
I don't think with the technology that we have, I don't think so. I think
okay.
I think so. So.
But yeah, that shit. When I saw that video, I was like, man, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. What, him beating Cassie?
Yeah, and then he's like, before that, I'm an innocent man. They assassinate my character.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is gonna come to light. The truth is gonna come to light, and then he got found out.
Mm-hmm.
Then he makes that bullshit apology. I was in the red place.
That was so
Fuck
fake.
out of here. Yeah,
that was so fake. I was like, oh no. After you said to do it, and then now you're gonna say you're sorry and I went to rehab. You didn't go to rehab because you kept beating on her and freaking Kim Porter. Because I'm like, what's the timeline? When did you go to rehab? When they put out the video? Like, when did that happen?
Now I would have had more respect to him. I would have had more respect, and I would have somewhat believed him. Like, let's say if he had genuine remorse back when the allegations first started.
Exactly.
And he said, hey, listen, I'm going to release this video and it's going to be hard to watch, but I want to take full responsibility for what I did. And from the bottom of my heart, I am sorry for all the pain that I caused. I'm releasing this so that the world could see what type of person that I was. If he had done that, it would have been more believable than for me to be like, yeah, I'm y'all assassinating my character. Y'all trying to do this to get me in trouble. And then you get caught.
He didn't think didn't think that all that was gonna happen. He didn't think that was gonna happen. So that's why he was being so cocky about it. But I think now it's like, okay, I think he's still a little cocky, but he doesn't think that I think he still thinks whatever's going on with those tapes, if he really has something on there that can implicate a lot of people, then he's not going to jail. But I don't think he's going to be able to have the be the mogul that he is. But I don't think.
But I'll say this: he didn't have anybody of importance on those tapes. And I'll say this: the reason why is because you got certain societies inside of certain societies, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the wrong people were on those tapes, something bad could happen to them.
True.
Look at what happened with Epstein. Remember when Epstein, they first confiscated that, and then they sent him to jail, and then he miraculously committed suicide?
Yeah, I don't believe that. Yeah. That was too convenient. Him offering himself was too convenient. That's why I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. And if that happens to Puffy, it'll be the same thing. But I think, because that's what people are trying to say, that the raid was to get what he had on people. It wasn't to implicate him. It was to get what he had on people so they can get rid of it, supposedly.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yep.
Whatever. But cool. So you said that you're going to go ahead and hop off?
Yeah, because it's going on. It's 2:30 my time, so I'm not. I think it's what mid morning for you.
Yeah, it's 9:37.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm gonna go to sleep and hopefully stay asleep after 9:37 in the morning. I hope I don't wake up early. I'm serious.
Okay.
All right,
cool,
so thank you so much for coming on the panel, giving me your insight, and keeping me company the whole time.
No problem.
This was
no problem at all.
But yeah, I'm gonna try to go on next week, and I'm trying to see what every week something comes out, so it's like there's always some news to do something. Yep, 3:37 Eastern time. I know, but I'm Central E. So I knew I'm an hour ahead of you. I mean, hour behind you guys. But I'm gonna try to find some more topics and probably do some funny stuff too. Because I have a lot of funny videos, but I should have done that earlier and then focused on the actual topic. But yeah. I really appreciate your company, Sundown. This was good. This was really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Like I said, if you have some topics, I'll be more than happy to come up and discuss them with you.
Perfect.
And
So
add my little insight to them.
Be on the lookout. All
right.
I'll keep the peace sign up. Thank you so much, Sundown.
Yep. Have a good night, and everybody in the chat was good chit chatting with y'all. Feel like old times.
Yes, we just needed Lord and Danny and Tina. Like we were in Fighter. We're missing those people, and then it would be complete. And so Smoothio. Yeah, like 5 people, Sundown. It's like
all
5 people. All right, Sundown. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Have a good morning. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Irby, Blood Moon, E, Don, Randy, Latin Pain, Aleem, Cuban Crisis, Daniel. Who else showed up here? I know I'm missing somebody. Trooper 69. I'm trying to hit everybody, and I don't want to forget. Don Armando. I know I mentioned your name. I mentioned Blood Moon. Who else? I'm missing people. Oh, Roy Chess, Terrell, Third Ward. Let's see. I think that was everybody that dropped down in the chat. Roy Chess. I forgot to mention Roy Chess last week. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you guys. Oh, 22 Ronin, Old Head, Randy Jean. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Aleem, I got Aleem. Yes. I want to thank Bermuda Breeze, Shakur 756 or 769. I think it's 756. Thank you so much, guys. Oh, Denise, thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. It was real, and hopefully you guys will see me next week. Have a good morning, night, evening. See you guys next week, hopefully. Take care. Yeah, leave a comment. You always leave a comment, Irby. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, I do have an IG. E. What is it? What is it? I always forget it. I got so many things. Is that it? Hold on. Yeah, that's it, E. I'll give you a few seconds to take it down, then I'm gonna shut it down. But that's my IG. Right? Yeah, that's it. But thank you everybody for stopping by. It's been real. How long I've been here? I've been here 3 hours, almost 4 hours. So you guys have a good morning, good evening, and see you hopefully next week. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. I enjoyed your company and I enjoyed the engagement. Bye.